is what heroes are made of. This right here is what heroes are made of. This right here, yeah, this right here, yeah, this right here is what heroes are made of. Picking up the phone already, know who calling. Ain't no testing me, my destiny's to be a baller. I've been going harder, death before dishonor, ain't no other order. Always knew I'd make it from the trenches up to be a starter. I'm an all-star starer, shot caller. Take a look at the glow, bright glow, you see the aura. Look how far they took it, you should know we going farther. Be a legend today, it's all over, we just started. If you can believe it, you can achieve the highs, you know. There's nothing to be afraid of. If you can believe it, you won't ever let them tell you no. This right here, yeah, this right here is what heroes are made of. What heroes are made of. This right here is what heroes are made of. Right here is what heroes are made of. Yeah, this right here is what heroes are made of.
Welcome to the 2021 eNASCAR iRacing All-Star Open. 23 drivers will be fighting for 2 spots to make it into the main event. You finish in the top 2, you're in. Third and back, you go home. It's all or nothing for the right to compete for $5,000. Here are your 2021 eNASCAR iRacing All-Star Open drivers. driving the legendary number 21 for Wood Brothers Racing, representing Gastonia, North Carolina, Garrett Lowe. Out of Charlotte, North Carolina, wheeling the 88 Junior Motorsports Chevrolet is Brad Davies. From out of the shadows, from Cypress, Texas, driving the number 66 McLaren Shadow Chevrolet, Blake Reynolds. Driving the number 15 Jim Beaver Esports Mustang from the world-renowned Blue Springs, Missouri, it is Kane Cook. From Chesney, South Carolina, behind the wheel of number 24 Mode Motorsports Ford, it is Jake Nichols. Representing Wood Brothers Racing, driving the number 16 Ford Mustang from Harrisburg, North Carolina, it is John Gorlinski. Piloting the number 44 Kligerman Sports Chevrolet from St. Peters, Missouri, it is Walter's number 1 fan, Anthony Burrows. Behind the wheel of the Roush Fenway Racing, number 6 Ford from St. Louis, Missouri, home of the Blues, it is Nathan Lyon. From Winston-Salem, North Carolina, flying the Team Dillon Esports flag, in the number 33 Chevrolet Camaro, it is Taylor Hurst. Hailing from the world-famous Powhatan, Virginia, piloting the number 2 Toyota Camry for Elliott Sadler Esports, it is the main man, Garrett Maines. Behind the wheel of the infamous number 18 Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota Camry from Revere, Massachusetts, it is Femi Olot. JTG Doherty Racing Zone, driving the number 37 Chevrolet from Elizabethtown, Kentucky, laying down the law, it is Derek Justice. Driving the number 52 Williams Esports Ford Mustang, the pride and joy of Hillsborough, New Hampshire, Jake Matheson. Representing Clint Boyer Racing in the number 79 Ford, driving out of Framingham, Massachusetts, it is none other than Ryan Doucette. Hailing from the great beyond, also known as Greer, South Carolina, in the number 11 Space Station Gaming Ford Mustang, it is none other than Malik Ray. In the number 9 Jim Beaver Esports Ford Mustang, driving out of Brownsburg, Indiana, grillin' and chillin', it's Michael Guest. From the sunny state of California in the city of Moore Park, in the number 47 JTG Doherty Racing Chevrolet Camaro, it is Brian Schoenberg. Representing the infinitely prestigious Williams Esports, driving out of Stockbridge, Michigan, in the number 29 Ford Mustang, it is Zach Nichols. From Roanoke, Virginia, behind the wheel of number 14 Clint Boyer Racing Ford, he is sharp and he is blade wit. In the number 41 Ford Mustang, representing Stuart Haas Racing, he's the pride of Halifax, Nova Scotia, it is Dylan Duval. Hailing from Lima, Ohio, wheeling number 67 McLaren Shadow Camaro, it is none other than Alan Bose. Piloting the number 75 Ford Mustang for Mode Motorsports, representing Darien, Illinois, it is Matt Busa. In the iconic number 17 Ford Mustang, a Roush Fenway Racing from Cedar Rapids, Iowa, it is Steven Wilson.
And if that doesn't get you ready for a night of racing, I don't know what will. We're ready to go eNASCAR racing tonight from the virtual Nashville Superspeedway. This is the 2021 eNASCAR iRacing All-Star Open. Happy that you're with us, as always, alongside Tim Terry. My name is Evan Pasoko. Big thanks to Keenan Kusin for getting us ready to go tonight, Tim. We are ready to see the best of the best fight tonight for a $5,000 prize, but before we can even talk about the race, we got to get through the Open. We have 2 spots left on the grid, and about half of our eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series field vying for those 2 positions.
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to have to get going, get up on the wheel really, really quickly here. Intros were awesome. You got to introduce the field. Here's your race analysis presented by Azus. We're going to go 40 laps here tonight. We're going to have a competition caution after 25. Fixed setup. It's an all-star race. It comes down to talent. Everybody is on the same setup. Tire sets available 1. That's what's on the race car when you start off the race. Mention that competition caution at 25, and the top 2 are going to the big dance.
It's not a lot when you look at a field of 21 cars. They qualified through a single car qualifying session a little bit earlier on this afternoon. Let's go trackside and take a look at your eNASCAR starting grid. Taylor Hurst will bring us to the green flag this afternoon alongside Nathan Lyon in second. Garrett Maines, Jake Nichols will double up on row 2 alongside with Blade Witt and Garrett Lowe on row 3. Steven Wilson, Ryan Doucette, your top 8 with Femi Olet and Malik Ray, your top 10.
Yeah, and completing your field, 11th on back, Derek Justice, Dylan Duval, the next row, Blake Reynolds, Anthony Burrows, you got Brad Davies, Alan Bowes, Jake Matheson, King Cook, Matt Busa coming from deep in the field, Michael Guest, and Zach Nichols complete your field. So a very stout field of drivers getting ready, and Evan, only 2 make it in.
Not a friendly number, but it is a good view at the front of the field for your pole sitter in this All-Star Open. Taylor Hurst will pilot the number 33 machine to the green flag from the front row. Tim, you're dialed out with our pole sitter.
Okay, Taylor, next gen car, new racetrack for this series. What do you have to do tonight to lock yourself into the All-Star race?
Well, we just got to keep this Grizzly Chevy out of trouble, pretty much. You know, we don't have a lot of power here, and it's a lot of draft going on, so just got to, you know, might have to throw a few blocks here and there, might have to defend, but, I mean, we just got to try to keep it out front, you know. Got to keep it out of that dirty air.
So you got the bear on the front. Is the fur going to fly this evening?
Yeah, I put my hair down tonight, too. I figured I'd let that fly, too, so we'll see what happens.
There you go. Go get him tonight. That's Taylor Hurst, driver of the number 33. He'll roll from the pole position. There's a great shot of your field on back, Evan, as we get ready to go racing.
And not to gloss over it, but the big story, of course, is that we are using the NASCAR Next Gen Cup Series cars, the Chevrolet Camaros, the Ford Mustangs, the Toyota Camrys, Tim, that you will see in competition next year in the NASCAR Cup Series. That's part of NASCAR at iRacing's new partnership as iRacing to be in the official simulation of NASCAR. This car is available to the public right now on iRacing. You can drive it before the Cup car guys get to next year. So it is going to cause a little bit of a difference. I think Taylor Hurst mentioned it there in his interview. They're not going to drive just like a Gen 6 would here at Nashville. So a new track, new cars, and a fixed setup race means that I can't really tell you what we're going to see tonight, and I think that might be the most exciting part.
And I think we saw it off some of the intros as well, and we're kind of seeing as the field rolls by, especially the 24 on the outside of Jake Nichols, some new colors and some new doodads per se on some of these race cars, Evan. I like the look of that number 24 car, especially how that thing shines. Look at that thing. Those are really, really nice colors in that thing.
It is. You can see how different shape these cars are. They're perfectly symmetrical down the center. And of course, as always, we'll have the unique onboard perspectives with all our drivers. There's your pole sitter, Taylor Hurst, dead center, and everybody else in the field all around him as we get set for a 40-lap sprint in this All-Star Open. That competition caution to come just past the halfway point at lap number 25. We bring in the third member of our broadcast team down to pit road with Justin Prince.
Yes, indeed. And when it comes to these cars, drivers have emphasized the importance of saving their stuff throughout this race tonight. So keep that in mind, as well as the bumps around Nashville Superspeedway. It's going to be intriguing. It's especially been defined by many of the competitors tonight.
And remember, this is the race to get into the race. Race winners and pole sitters from the last 2 seasons of competition, plus past champions and all-star race winners, already locked into the feature a little bit later on. These drivers with some work to do. The base car down and in. Let's go racing in the All-Star Open at Nashville. And a good jump for her side by side for second. Here comes Garrett Maines up the inside as a huge bobble for Nathan Lyon. He nearly fences it 3 wide down the back straightaway.
Got to get while the getting's good. There is a competition caution up the road, Evan, but you need to get everything that you can here to put yourself in a position, if not to win this, to finish at least in P2 as the first side-by-side battle. Malik Ray takes a look to the inside, trying to pick up one more. He's picked. Oh, hello. Wilson up the racetrack almost into that number 24 as he was clear enough to get that position. Talked about that dirty air off the start with Taylor Hurst. He's trying to get closer to the front of this field.
You had the 21-6 funding for the number 7 position on track, and if you didn't qualify well, you mentioned with only that competition caution a little bit later, you kind of have to drive like this, Tim, and we should specify, when we say there's only a competition caution at lap 25, we mean that is the only caution in this All-Star Open. There will be no yellow flags for on-track incidents. So far, so good, but that could cause some issues if these guys are this aggressive all night long on board with Garrett Lowe.
And there's Garrett Lowe on your screen, as you mentioned. Should be at the summer shootout at Charlotte running the Legend car, but he's here looking to not only win this one, get into the big dance, but win some big money when it comes to that All-Star race a little bit later on. And there's a driver, Evan, that, you know, you look at last year and the run that he had, and then you look at this year, you think, okay, maybe he'd be in the All-Star race already, but there are some really big names that have had some really good seasons in the past that are still trying to fight their way into the big dance later on.
It is a tall order, and you take a look at the drivers in this field. Would be one of the toughest splits you'd see on the iRacing surface any at a time. Hard to believe that these are the drivers that aren't locked into the show. But after some fireworks on the opening lap of the race, things have calmed down a little bit. Taylor Hurst continuing to lead this race in that number 33 machine, Tim. But the draft with these next-gen cars is going to be a big factor, right? All the on-throttle time, how much these drivers are going to be on top of each other. Look at Wilson down on the inside of Blade Witt for third. It's going to be very difficult for 1 and 2 to pull away as you watch all of this from off the back bumper of your race leader.
And I think trying to set up these passes are going to be big as well. You see that side-by-side battle right in behind with Blade Witt on the outside. There's a driver that had a really good run at Loudon. As up the hill goes Wilson right in front of the 14, and they'll continue to battle in behind the top 2 that are right there. There it is right there. The 11 goes to the inside. These guys are wasting little time, and this is in the top 5 on lap number 6. They've got a long way to go still.
That is 5 Ford Performance Mustangs running 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 on track right now, and on board now with Femi Olad. He had a big run on the outside. They're going to go 3 wide down here in 1 and 2. That was Nichols making the outside work. Olad gives a shove to the back end of Malik Ray. Look at all the wheel he's putting in to that number 18 Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing, and he will push his way down to the inside. Femi started this race 9th. He is up to 7th, 7 laps in of 40 in the All-Star Open.
They are going at it here, Evan, like it is the last 5 laps of the race and not the first 8 laps of the race. They're trying to position themselves, and it looks like they're a little apt to lean into each other a little bit here with these next-gen cars, and so far so good. There's Ryan Doucette to the inside of Derek Justice. Justice has had an up-and-down season in his first eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series season, and looking to put an exclamation point on it and lock himself into the All-Star race, but he is on top of 3 wide right now.
Oh, that was Blake Reynolds. He used the apron to get down on the inside of this. I don't know if there's that much room down in turn number 1. They're going to make it work, though. Justice up high. Doucette the meat and the sandwich. He's smiling. He's having a good time in the middle of this 3-wide fight as this battle continues for 9th, 10th, and 11th position, Tim. Of course, the Cup Series is there's a touch, and Justice gets squeezed out at a turn 4. We saw how fun that NASCAR Cup Series race was here at Nashville as NASCAR made its return to Music City this year, but I don't know if we saw quite that much 3 wide back there in traffic. Meanwhile, at the front of the field, Garrett Maines has gone to the race lead. Taylor Hurst not wanting to give up. He maintains 2nd position on the outside, and it's a fight between Steven Wilson up top and Blade Witt on the bottom for 3rd. Those two have not been getting along, and all that's into the fence behind them off at turn 4.
And we saw with that dirty air, Taylor Hurst almost lost that bubble position to lock himself in at the end of the race if he was to finish in position number 2. This battle is for 3rd. It's a great battle, Evan, but they need one more spot. All of them need one more spot to try to make themselves in. There they go down to the inside, and Blade Witt playing a little bit of a protective line to try to keep that 24 of Nichols in behind, and Wilson doing everything that he can to get by these guys to try to chase down those top 2.
Just about put it in the infield parking lot on the back straightaway to make the pass, but that was Blade Witt going all the way to the inside to shut the door. And there's that car you pointed out early, the Mode Media House number 24, mission of Jake Nichols. A bit of new colors on board that car, trying to make the inside work. It did not. I mentioned that Olat was into the fence off at turn number 4. Here's what happened on the right-hand side of your screen. That's Malik Ray coming up with just a little bit. and the 18 car hard into the outside wall. That has dropped Femi all the way down to 14th position, likely eliminating him from contention to advance out of this All-Star Open. Here's a secondary pack about 3 seconds off for the race leaders, led by Blake Reynolds, who nearly gets taken out by Jake Matheson. They'll slide up to catch it. Here comes Justice. Here comes Kane Cook on the inside, and more 3 wide down the back straightaway.
Nice shot from Burrows as you watch the 3 wide in front of him, and Kane Cook stuck in the middle of this one as they come up out of corner number 4, trying to go forward. Where does Burrows go? Does he go 4? No, he gets in behind the 37 of Derek Justice, but looking at the attitude of that race car from on board, it almost looked like he was looking 4.
3 by 2, Tim. They look like the Thunderbirds in the center of quarters 1 and 2, and the advantage is to the outside. Matheson gets the run down the backstretch. He'll be followed by Ryan Doucette. Doucette gets a twofer in 1 lap. Move that number 79 to Machine up to 9th position. He's trying to make up for some spots lost earlier as the battle between Justice and Cook continues to rage on. Working lap 15 of 40. Remember that comp yellow will come at the end of lap number 25. So you're starting to run out of time to make some news here. Back to the front of the field. Garrett Maines is leading. Jake Nichols has some work to do. He's P6. Here's his perspective.
He can see the leaders in front of him, though. You saw a couple of those daring moves to the inside. Taylor Hirsch tried to make that move work and pick up and maintain a position, but Jake's got a front row seat to this battle in front of him that I think it's safe pretty much where he is right now. There's a competition caution 10 laps up the road. Let these guys battle it out, and I don't want to say make a mistake, but if somebody does make a mistake, he's got an opportunity to kind of dodge it, doesn't he?
Well, and that could be tricky, I think, when you come on for the restart for the comp yellow. We saw how dicey it was up top. Look at Steven Wilson down to the inside, all the way to the grass, as he'll drive 3 wide for 2nd position, and Steven Wilson has got the spot. He'll slide up, put the slide job on the outside of Blade Witt, but it is not done yet because your pole sitter, Taylor Hurst, does not want to give up. He tries to get back down to the inside, but Steven Wilson gets P2. It's a race high for the driver of the 17 Ford.
Kind of slammed the door on the 14 to the outside, but the 33 of Taylor Hurst was able to get to the inside, but that was about all it was. And JP, what are you seeing?
This is exactly what Garrett Maines and his crew wants to see. They've been telling him, play the lines, try and get them to battle, try and get them to utilize the draft amongst one another. That's being emphasized at the moment with how things are faring out. And keep in mind, the top 2 transfers, so he wants things to keep busy here and keep that clean air.
And so far, he is being challenged by Wilson, but Tim, I don't know how much incentive there is for Steven Wilson to put a move on Garrett Maines, because remember, the magic number is 2. Your top 2 finishers and only your top 2 finishers advance to the All-Star race later on this evening. So for Wilson, he could say, listen, I don't want to fight with him, slow each other down, or you could say, I want to be the leader because I want to buffer, because that group of 4, Hurst, Witt, Ray Nichols, they don't look like they have any intention to drop it back as we reach the halfway point in the All-Star Open.
I like what you said, Evan. I like the insurance policy of being in first because you have a buffer. Steven Wilson almost went to the inside as you ride on board this time by with the 14 of Blade Witt. Sees that little battle in front of him, sees Taylor Hurst kind of looking on. Nice little position I think that Blade Witt's in right now, but if I'm ahead, if I'm the leader, I like the insurance policy and I like the clean air that's out there as well. So I'm sure Steven Wilson, Taylor Hurst, Blade Witt, all these guys that are battling for this lead have that in the back of their mind as we work a little closer towards that comp yellow.
I just noticed Blade doesn't have the smile that we saw to Ryan Doucette, Tim. Neither does Steven Wilson. So just because this is for bragging rights, there's a lot of cash on the line. $5,000 purse to the top 3 drivers of the All-Star race a little bit today. Later on today, I guess I should say, and Steven Wilson blowing us a kiss. So I guess he's light enough behind the wheel of the race car there that he can have some fun with it. He's P2, Tim. He's blowing kisses to the camera. This man's not afraid of anything.
So is that his jersey behind? And if so, what is it his own team? Is it somebody else's team? What's
Is it a racing jersey? It almost looks like soccer or something. I don't know.
I don't know. Is it a Roush jersey? Like, do they have those? I would buy a Steven Wilson jersey.
Roush has not signed me to a driver contract, Tim, so I do not know if they give their eNASCAR drivers jerseys because I'm not eligible for that.
There's a merch deal here somewhere. I'm pretty sure there is. But calm, cool, and collected is Steven Wilson. He sees a grizzly bear right in behind him, holding him off as we come by to click off one more lap. And I think for those outside this top 6 little battle, I think they're anticipating the comp yellow in just a couple laps.
I just love that he had a shirt on that said cash checks at the end of it. That's what he wants to do tonight. $3,500 on the line to the eventual All-Star winner. But that battle for third on the back has once again closed on your race leaders. That advantage that Garrett Maines and Steven Wilson had is gone. So here's the decision time for the 17 of Wilson. Do you maintain P2? Do you go to check that insurance policy? He does to the inside, but Garrett Maines leaves absolutely no space. They'll be side by side for the lead, but here comes Taylor Hurst.
Don't look now, the grizzly bear is on the hunt. Maines to the outside, Taylor Hurst now to the inside, pushes the fifth third bank number 17 to the lead, and now it is a battle for position number 2. This is the battle for the bubble, and here comes Malik Ray. Why not 3 wide? Down in the grass goes the 11.
Oh, he got shut the door by that 33 machine of Taylor Hurst, and the yellow flag is out as your race leaders take lap number 25. So we will slow things down. Order probably would have been different, Tim, if that yellow came out on the backstretch. Probably would have been different at the start-finish the last time through. But almost like a plate race, it's been a race of runs. Your race leaders will pull a little bit. They'll be caught up to, and you can see when that second group of cars has the momentum, they can basically put it anywhere and make a challenge. But Wilson and Maines in the transfer spots at the competition yellow.
I think the biggest question we're going to have, Evan, going forward in this final sprint to the finish is those top 6. We knew they were strong. We know they're up there, but is there anybody else that's going to challenge and potentially work their way into a top 2 spot?
Well, Jake Matheson is somebody that I've been watching, hindered by the fact that he qualified back in 17th, Tim, and he's the biggest mover, plus 10. Blake Reynolds is plus 5 as well. Those guys are in 7th and 8th position, so we'll have to watch that. But a guy that doesn't need to worry about making up track position, his focus is defending it. Steven Wilson leading, Tim. You're dialed up with him.
Steven, you look kind of calm, cool, and collected on the in-car shot. How are your nerves right now, knowing that there could potentially be a $3,500 check that you might need to cash at the end of the night?
Yeah, you know, I'm not too nervous as of right now. I feel like I'm just having a little bit of fun out here, trying to enjoy this as much as I can. This is a pretty good brawl, to be honest. You know, you're able to make moves 2-3 wide. Nobody can really pull away. So, you know, I'd like to be leading in a race that was mattering for points, but this is good. I'll take this.
Now, before we let you get back into the action, we have to ask about the jersey behind. What's the story behind the jersey?
That jersey? That one?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, so Roush Fenway. That's a Roush Fenway Racing jersey. They send us jerseys, me and Nathan, for the year, and I haven't really worn that one, but I have it in the background, so appreciate them, as always.
Well, there you go. Go get them, and we'll see how this all shakes out. Good luck.
Thank you.
There you go, Evan. There's the answer.
Yeah, I probably could have got, if it was a soccer jersey, I probably could have got one of those when I was 8. I'm not getting a Roush Fenway Racing jersey anytime soon. His challenger in this in a transfer position is the number 2 with Garrett Maines. Tim, we've also got the driver of the number 2 Toyota on the radio.
Okay, Garrett, what do you have to do to get by the 17? Is that sense of urgency there, knowing that the top 2 transfer?
Yeah, there was definitely some focus there to keep the lead, but unfortunately wasn't able to. I knew that Taylor was going to be pushing Steven. Just I should have blocked harder. It really came down to whether or not he'd be able to get off that corner, and he got to my quarter panel and side drafted me back, and now we're P2. So we're kind of in a position where we gotta hold on this restart. Hopefully we can get down, but it's very hard to pass, and you need help. And I think it's going to be a last-ditch effort dash to the finish where nobody's going to want to help anybody. So we'll kind of see how it goes, but it's in our hands. We gotta wheel now.
What would it mean to lock yourself into this all-star race later on tonight?
Man, it was looking good for the last 20 laps there. I really want to make the show. I know Vicente's already in it, so I want to be able to team up with him and see what we can get tonight.
We wish you all the best. Go get him.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
That's Garrett Maines, driver of the number 2 for Elliott Sadler Esports, and we'll see what he can do from the outside of row number 1 when we go back green.
I'm just curious, we talk about the competition caution, Tim, this being the only yellow. So that means that when we go back green, no matter what happens, Barney's got that yellow in his back pocket. He's not throwing it. This could get messy. Is there any, based on the blocking and the runs that we've seen, is there any chance this thing finishes under green? I mean, without an incident? I mean, I think we got to be tearing up some sheet metal.
I think we do. Let's ask the guy that's in 5th, though. Blade Witt, coming off a great run in the last points race. What do you have to do to put this 14 car into the show?
We got to, be ready for any carnage, and just whenever opportunities come to get spots, take it 3 wide. That's what we got to do.
After the up and down season that you've had in your rookie year, what would it mean to get into the top 2 and lock yourself into the big dance?
Oh, this would be a huge confidence booster. I didn't have any expectations really coming into this race, but, if we made it in, that'd just be a huge confidence booster for me.
P5 looking for a couple more. Go get him.
Thank you.
That's Blade Witt, driver of the number 14. And Evan, there's a driver that's had a decent season, a little bit of an up and down to start off his eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series career. But you know what? That 14 car has shown speed tonight. Looking forward to seeing what he can do here in the remaining 11 laps.
And looking to pick up 3 additional positions. That's all he needs as we take another look at our ASUS race analysis coming to the end of this 40-lap fixed all-star open race. Competition caution is done. The key is that bottom line. Only 2 of the 21 drivers in this race, 19 of them are still on track. Femi Olat and Garrett Lowe out of this race with incidents earlier on. Only 2 of the 19 cars still on track will make the show. We'll come around this time by to take 11 laps to go. The caution flag is in the back pocket. What will happen as these drivers want to race their way in for a shot at their share of a purse of $5,000 later on tonight with the eNASCAR iRacing All-Star Race. Pace car down. It is Steven Wilson's field to control. He's on the loud pedal with 11 laps to go at Nashville Superspeedway.
Garrett said he was going to try to get down and block. He did so. He moves to position number 2 or maintains that second place position. Now, what does the Grizzly Bear do? Does the Grizzly Bear get angry with that little bit of a low line move from the 2 as they run down the back straightaway? Top 4, top 5, single pile. Nichols gets back into line, and then it's a mess in behind.
They are all on the bottom of the racetrack. Couple of cars up top. Cook's up top. Burrows is up top, but now side by side for the bubble spot. As Garrett Maines is going to get left out up top, it's Hurst onto the inside. To the inside goes Blade Witt. They touch 3 wide for the transfer spot in turn 1. Who wins the game of chicken? Hurst survives. Maines is still there. Now here comes Nichols, who gets into the 14.
You got to make those moves. Here comes Malik Ray flashing the nose to the inside. Can't get there. Down into corner number 3. It's a side-by-side battle for second and a fight in behind. Hurst is going to take the spot. Maines, oh boy. What a move by the 2 to save that one with Malik Ray in the 11. Oh, this is going to come down to the end. 3 wide behind them.
Look at the shot up top, 3 wide. The entire midfield is stacking up. There's no way that's going to work. There goes Doucette down into the grass. He's the only casualty, though. The midfield survives. They race off to 3 and 4 once more. Steven Wilson leading this race now. 8 laps to go from Lebanon, Tennessee. Hurst in second, hotly contested by Garrett Maines.
And in behind them, they're starting to close in. Malik Ray wants to punch his ticket into the All-Star race, and he has a shot, as does, I believe is that the 75? Where did Matt Busa come from? Busa's a part of this deal as well. They are all coming back together. They'll come to 7 to go, and the Mode Motorsports number 75 hops to the outside.
He started in 19th position, did Matt Busa. With that pass, he is plus 15. What a drive as he wants to get into the picture. There's Maines again onto the inside of Hurst. The battle for second. Oh, he'll just try to push his way through. Matt Busa didn't want to waste time finding a lane. He tried to make a lane. It didn't work for the moment. Malik Ray now back on the strike as the 75 of Busa somehow ends up in 3rd after that.
The 75 has so much drive around this racetrack. Up to position number 3. There he is on your screen. And look at that laser focus. He is locked in to those top 2 because he needs one more spot to lock himself into the All-Star race. Why not? Let's go to the outside. Side by side for the transfer. 3 wide behind them.
And it looks like the spot might be his. What can Taylor Hurst do? Pinched onto the inside in 3 and 4. He is clear. Matt Busa goes to P2. Now, we talked about insurance. It's almost certain Busa wants to go for the race lead here. He'll go to the outside of Steven Wilson, working lap number 36 of 40. Clearly, that Mode Media House Ford Mustang saved something for late in this race, but it's a drag race down the back straightaway. Hurst will give him a shove on the outside.
Where did Dylan Duvall come from? The 41 car's up here as well. The Stuart Haas Esports car looking to pick up a couple of more spots and be a part of this one. Steven Wilson and Taylor Hurst up in front all night long, and they are holding on for dear life with those 2 drivers. Did they save tires? They conserve something? They are stout in these late laps.
Who is going to get the job done? Wilson pushes up. He leans on Matt Busa down the back straightaway. Here's the look with Taylor Hurst again pushing the 75. He'll slice to the inside. What a move by Matt Busa to try to protect the race lead. 3 wide now for third. Oh, he's into the wall. Hurst spins. He'll wreck out of turn 4. No yellows. We stay green. Taylor Hurst will not make the All-Star in 2021.
And now it's Dylan Duvall and Michael Guest going for that transfer spot. Dylan might have leaned in just a little bit into that battle in front of him, but he's got to go. He sees that big green egg behind him, and that big green egg is getting a little bit bigger. This is the battle for the transfer spot as Matt Busa drives away with the lead.
I'm not sure we've talked about Dylan Duvall or Michael Guest at all tonight, but they are the bubble drivers with popsicle sticks in the air. 2 laps to go at Nashville. A healthy advantage for Busa up front, but here comes Guest. Oh, he'll give a shove. Moves Dylan Duvall up the bump and run into the inside. He tries to block side by side for the bubble, and it's going to be Michael Guest on the inside. He will clear. Now, does Duvall go for payback? Here comes Nichols looking for the white flag.
Thing got a little bit tight on Dylan Duvall. The 29 gives him a little shot in the shorts. Hip check up the racetrack. Final lap. Here comes Bose in the 67 to the inside. This is the battle to transfer. They got to get to Michael Guest.
And they're fighting each other right now. Duvall back on the inside, but that looks like too big of an advantage for Michael Guest. They're beating and banging in the battle for 4th and 5th position. Matt Busa with a strong late race charge is in front of it all. He'll win the All-Star Open, and followed by Michael Guest, who punches his ticket to the main event.
What a show put on by these All-Star Open drivers. And did you think over 40 laps we'd be talking about conservation of tires? I think that's what we just saw to that 75. What a run at the end.
Your top 4 drivers, Tim, on the plus-minus tonight. Busa, Guest, and even Nichols and Bose, who don't make the show but had a great showing. Your top 4 were plus 18, plus 18, plus 18, and plus 12. Big movers. The difference tonight, and as he celebrates on the front straightaway, this winning moment is brought to you by Coca-Cola, the official fan refreshment of eNASCAR, as Matt Busa wins the All-Star Open, and along with Michael Guest, they are headed to the 2021 eNASCAR iRacing All-Star Race.
Yeah, what a show put on by these drivers here. And now we take a little bit of a breather. If what we saw is any indication of what we're going to see in the All-Star race, we're in for one hell of a show.
There is a lot of exciting racing to come up later on. The All-Star race is next. We'll hand things off to our countdown to green crew of Blake McCandless, Michael Guerrillo. We got Brandon Cattell up here as well, guys. I hope we kicked it off well for you. That was a pretty exciting start to the night.
Evan, absolutely. I don't think that we could have kicked things off in a better way. Michael, Brandon, I mean, what do you guys think of that?
That was intense.
That was great.
Yeah, I mean, it showed you how racy the track is, how the setup is, and I mean, how much tires really meant. I mean, those guys that were running towards the back, they were running seconds off when they first started the event, and they made it up, and it showed how much they'd saved during the race.
I just
really
want to
did.
say they looked like they were having a blast out there, and I literally can't wait to get out there right now.
I was having a blast watching them, and that's what I was about to point to, Brandon, of course, as we welcome you in to Countdown to Green, refreshed by Coca-Cola. Of course, Michael, former series driver, but Brandon, you get to do double duty, but I'll just throw it to you right quick. After watching that race, you got to watch it. What are your impressions of what you just saw?
I mean, it looks like everybody's kind of staying close together. They're drafting a little bit. The aero push isn't as bad. As we see Matt Busa getting the win with the fresh tires, I knew that was going to pay off. Michael Guest coming in there late. That was one of the best finishes I've seen in this series. I've won the Open before. It's hard to do. It's hard to make the All-Star race. So
shameless plug.
Shameless plug. But for them to advance, it's just really cool to see what they did.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, you look down the list of drivers. I mean, these guys, like I was mentioning before, Busa, Guest, Nichols, Bose, Duvall, all not even in contention at halfway point when we had the caution flag, the comp caution with 15 to go. And I mean, they're in the mix now. So, I mean, those guys all brought it together, and those that were up front got the band end of it all together.
Yeah,
they really did. And of course, those drivers, of course, only put into the Open because they did not win a pole between the All-Star race last year and, of course, the race this year. But, of course, an amazing job by Matt Busa and Michael Guest on that tire strategy call to win that race. But I'll just throw it to you guys one more time. Michael, of course, you're an analyst here. You were listening down on pit road. What were the teams really saying about what they just experienced?
Well, the biggest thing they were talking about is just the fact of draft. I mean, in these Gen 7 cars, the draft is very apparent. And so, I mean, the biggest effect of that is you get all that draft down the straightaway, and then you're getting down in the corner, and then you have all the dirty air. I mean, these cars are a little bit wider than what the Gen 6 cars are with the next gen vehicle. So, I mean, when it comes down to it, the draft is the help, keeping you up together, but staying behind drivers, staying to that bottom lane was really important tonight. And it really showed at the end for those drivers who had the older tires that if they weren't on the bottom, they were going backwards. So that'll be something to watch here in the main event later on tonight.
Yeah, I just want to also point out Steven Wilson did a really good job at saving his tires there in the beginning of the run. If you look here at the beginning, he was about midway through the pack here as he was 3 wide there in the beginning. But man, if you look at some of the way that they were racing, they would have. It looked like they were racing for $1 million just at this point. So, and not $3,500. So look at some of this 3 wide racing. Malik Ray was around the center of it. He and Femi Olat were put in the sandwich a lot tonight. Jake Nichols was too. Unfortunately, they didn't advance, but so we've seen a lot of 3 wide racing, just the entire race. And you're going to see that coming up here in just a couple minutes too.
You know what? I really wanted, we're on board with Burrows right there. I wanted him to make it 4 wide so badly right there.
Yeah, I did too.
Wanted to see what it would look like to be 4 wide at Nashville. Nashville Superspeedway, a very narrow racetrack with narrow exits. But I mean, I think we were all just treated to an amazing show. You saw side by side, 2 wide guys using that side draft to pull each other back. I mean, I think that just exceeded all of our expectations. Malik Ray, like you mentioned, right in the middle of it all. He was everywhere, guys. He was trying to make that number 11 Space Station Gaming Ford up front in any way that he could.
We know Malik will put anything on the line to get in this All-Star event. You saw him right there, almost getting to the quarter panel of Garrett Maines, and he's got this hornet's nest behind him. I mean, look at this. We're almost 3 by 3, 4 rows deep.
Look at Matt
Nashville,
Busa
which
at
is
that
narrow.
point. Matt Busa was midway through the middle of the pack, and he drove through all those cars to get to the front. So tires mean a lot. And look at this big crash here at the end involving Brad Davies and Nathan Lyon. But we're just going to see such a great show coming up here in a couple minutes. But look, the crash here at the end, man, this is going to be wild, guys.
You'll see that a lot tonight with drivers pushing up, getting pinched on, and even a little bit of the bump and run right here from the 9 machine and Michael Guest trying to get that spot. And Dylan Duvall gave his fight right there. And I mean, it wasn't enough for him at the end, and Guest took it away.
Oh, absolutely. And with that, we will speak to your All-Star Open race winner in Matt Busa. And Matt, I think all of us up here are just shocked at what we just saw. Started 19th on the grid, came up to the front. How did you do it?
Yeah, I didn't mean to start in the back there. On my outlap, I got really tight coming out of turn 4 and had to lift, and I knew I was just going to be toast. So I just purposely then started last and saved tires the entire time, never hit full throttle for those 25 laps.
Wow.
And I knew that would be my only chance to make it up front. It's
So
only
you
the
say-
top 2 advanced.
So tire wear, that's what I'm hearing. You say you didn't even go full throttle through that first stage. You knew that caution was coming. You only have one set for that second race. What's your mindset approaching that, knowing that tires here at this concrete, it gets chewed up pretty fast?
Yeah, I'll have to see the format again to see when the cautions are going to fall. And that'll probably determine when I'll probably go. I might start in the back on purpose again and just start off with a tire saving game. See how it goes from there. But yeah, if it plays out the same way, that'll be a lot of fun.
So was that, sorry to butt in here, but was that Dustin Hall, your crew chief, making those calls for you there, Matt?
Half of it was. I'll give him half credit.
Dustin was my crew chief last year. Love that guy. That was really cool to see you go through the field there, man.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Going into the race, I wasn't too excited about it with this car being quite easy to drive, but yeah, that was a lot of fun at the end there, being able to drive through the pack. And anytime you get a win, it's fun, whether it's an All-Star Open, a non-points event, doesn't matter. It's always fun to win.
It really is. Well, Matt, of course, we wish you the best of luck. You get to race for $3,500 tonight, so congratulations on your first place effort, and wish you the best through the rest of this Open. But, of course, second going, Michael Guest. And, Michael, I want to ask you, of course, this is a night of first. We're debuting this next-gen car. We're debuting this track in this series. What are your initial impressions after coming up all the way through the field like you did? We saw you hitting back there in the pack. What are your initial impressions after taking a few laps with this thing around Nashville?
Tires definitely mean a lot. I think everybody found that out that race.
Certainly tires matter a lot, but also just kind of talk about, what we saw, I think kind of resembled a little more kind of pack racing than what I think some of us would have anticipated, making those moves side draft, and just kind of talk about those new elements that with a brand new car, you're having to learn on the fly.
Yeah, this was definitely an interesting race from the start. Everybody got spread out, and I didn't think the tires were going to matter that much because from what we were experiencing in practice, we were all kind of in a bubble. We get up to someone and we just kind of push them away with the air. So I didn't really expect much, honestly. But, I mean, getting in there, it didn't seem hard to pass at all. We were able to get runs on people. So I'm definitely interested to see how the All-Star race comes up.
Well, with the All-Star race, you talked about it. Are you going to employ the same strategy? We have 2 separate competition cautions. So do you think your strategy will be just as effective, or are you going to have that play into it with the extra tire set?
Yeah, the extra tire set definitely throws the old wrench in there, but I think there's going to be a lot of different strategies here, and I'm probably going to do a similar thing. I always like the tire saving gamble, and we'll see how it works out.
All right, Michael, well, thank you very much. And again, those are your 2 drivers, Matt Busa and Michael S., that will transfer on for a chance to compete for $3,500 tonight. Want to also let you guys know about a wonderful thing that our friends over at Fox Sports are putting on about this wonderful e-sport and a hobby that we all love in sim racing. A documentary that is debuting. It aired tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern. And, of course, after the race tonight, we want you to stay tuned for what you're about to see, if that Open was any indication. But our friends over at Fox Sports made an amazing documentary talking about the history and the evolution of sim racing. And, of course, you can catch that over at Fox Sports on their YouTube channel afterward. And we'll take a look at a trailer, get a little preview of what we're about to see.
I love video games the same reasons everyone loves video games. It's escapism, it gives you a sense of competition.
We're all down to the same thing in racing. It's a talent to go yourself.
In the old days, racing games were all kind of dull.
Today, can get into a race server with Dale Jr., and I might have that ability to go door to door with them in the real world.
I I tell you what, watching Dale Earnhardt Jr. drive with one hand on the steering wheel, grabbing the center of it, it's just amazing that he's able to do that. But again, thank you to our friends over at Fox Sports that made that happen. But of course, in our next segment, Coca-Cola was able to visit both the Charlotte Motor Speedway and Atlanta Motor Speedway, along with the help of USO, to put on a very fun time for both drivers alike. Some of our eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series stars were there as well. And of course, the race fans were able to enjoy a little bit of a taste of iRacing. Let's take a look.
You cut me off. A lot of fun to be able to come out here. Big thanks to Coca-Cola and USO for making this possible.
Oh, using the sim rig was awesome. And of course, we had to come to the Coke 600.
You have to fight with the steering wheel. It was pretty fun, but pretty hard at the same time.
First time we've had any sort of fans back here at Charlotte in almost a year now. For people to try to jump on this iRacing simulator and try to compare what their lap could be up against a real driver, I think it's a pretty neat deal.
I think I ran a 29.92, so I'm sure somebody will end up beating it by the end of the day.
This is super cool for fans to be able to come out here and kind of play around with us.
It's really cool because, you know, you almost feel like you're part of the race.
You can feel the vibration of the car when you hit the wall.
Each time you spin out, you can feel it. You can feel yourself losing control.
You feel like you're really in a race car. I loved it.
It was awesome. It was awesome.
You love hearing those race fans' impression, and if it's anything like the first time I went to the Hall of Fame, they really get a taste of how difficult it is. We saw a couple of them in the wall, but nevertheless had a great time. But I'm joined alongside the Director of Motorsports for Coca-Cola, Chris Bigda. And Chris, I want to ask you about those activations and the overall experience that the fans were able to have there and your impressions of what took place. All right. Chris, you there? Hello, Chris.
Well, it was definitely time to bring something to the fans. With everything opening up at the racetrack and fans coming back
well, we'll try to catch
watch
up with
races,
Chris.
we really wanted to do something with them and have them experience iRacing in real life. So the whole thought behind it was, with our partnership with the USO, we brought a great experience to the Coca-Cola 600, allowed people to interact for the first time with an iRacing simulator at a NASCAR race. And then in our own backyard, for the Atlanta race, we brought another simulator, and it was a great fan-friendly environment. Fans are looking for stuff to do on the midway, and this is a great exposure for us because we did sampling with our product as well. And it was just a great experience for fans to come out and interact with Coca-Cola and NASCAR and the Coca-Cola NASCAR iRacing series.
And I think as a eNASCAR iRacing Series fan, Michael, Brandon, you hear what Chris was able to talk about. And Chris, of course, we thank Chris for taking the time out to talk to us. But seeing those race fans, how they interact, how they just love this hobby that we call in sim racing. It's one thing that I'm always adamant about. It's the most immersive esport that there is, and it's great to see the race fans react in that way, really get a taste of what they see on Sunday, Saturday, and every weekend the NASCAR's on the schedule.
Yeah, Blake, I think for a lot of us drivers and a lot of people who work around iRacing, a lot of us, we see it as business. And what I sometimes forget is just to see the fun out of it, and just seeing all the people have fun at the racetracks. It really brings back just kind of just taking it easy and just having it being fun again, you know? And I really think that's the main point, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. We'll go ahead and bring in somebody who knows a lot about fun. He was a former series champion in 2013, the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series. Tyler Hudson, thank you for joining us.
Hey, T-Hud.
Hey,
how's
guys.
it going there, sir?
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Good. So the biggest thing with your transformation into iRacing is now you're on the other side of the sim world, on the competition side of things. Talk about how that's been for you and how that changes has been for you.
Yeah. How about that race? First of all, that open race, man, that was was crazy. If that's any indication of what we're going to see tonight, it's going to be really, really cool. But I former driver in this series, transitioned to competition manager. I kind of managed and oversee the series from a competition standpoint. Creating rules, documents, managing the drivers, all that fun stuff. But I mean, at the end of the day, I do miss competing. As you guys can probably relate to, as a competitor, it's tough when you're not competing and you see other people competing, and it's just in your nature. But I love my job. I love what I do. I get to help out on the development side of iRacing a lot, and you kind of oversee all these World Championship series. So it's a dream job. I'm really happy and glad to be here.
Well, and Tyler, I want to ask you something about this all-star format, which, first off, I think early impressions are it works. We saw an amazing open right there, but kind of talk, I know I was hearing you had a pretty good story about how this all-star format came to be.
Yeah. So we didn't actually, this wasn't our original plan. We started researching some things we could do a few months ago. I put together this whole plan of I was thinking, why limit it to a race? Let's make it like this event. Let's take the 4 different licenses we have on the service. Let's put these guys in different cars on dirt, on road courses. Let's do some Pro 4 trucks. Let's make it like a mini series and just go all out, And so I put all this on. So back up here. So I thought of this all out, and then Drew called me up and said, "Hey man, I got some ideas on what I'd like to do for the All-Star," and it aligned with what I was talking about right there. And I was like, "Oh yeah, this is gonna work. This is gonna be cool." So, anyways, so I type all these plans out and send it to my boss Otto. Told him, let's do it. Let's do this. And you ever write something down? You have this idea, you write something down, you read it back, and you're like, what was I thinking? There's no way we could manage all this. Getting people in and out of servers, 15-minute races, keeping up with points in real time. I was like, this is just not going to work after I put it on paper. So needless to say, Otto didn't reply to my email. And then I came up with this format. And basically, I really wanted to put it into the driver's hands where they're saving tires. There's a little bit of strategy there involved. So I think we got that. It's really fun, exciting, and this new car is awesome. It's been racing really good.
It has been, and Tyler, we want to thank you for taking the time out, and obviously good luck up in the tower. I know somebody probably doesn't wish you good luck, but, have a nice, solid race up there as well. And Brandon, we go ahead and throw it to you in just a second, but Michael, we'll go ahead and take a look at what these drivers will be seeing tonight at Nashville Superspeedway.
Yeah, we're coming to Nashville Superspeedway, one of the newest tracks into the iRacing and NASCAR circuit at Lebanon, Tennessee. You see, it's 1.75 miles, so not short enough for our short intermediate package. I mean, actually, we are running that tonight, 750 horsepower with the low downforce. Banking, no progressive banking here, 14 degrees, all concrete surface, opened back in 2001. And Cattell, you're going to be running this race tonight. You're going to be telling us how we're going to be getting around here.
Yeah, fortunately enough, I won a race last year that qualified me for this event. As we go down into turn 1 here, it's really kind of wide sweeping. You want to try to get it down to the bottom like I did not get to right there. You want to try to come up off the corner with as much grip as possible. It's really easy down the back straightaway, no hands. Going down into turn 3, you want to try to keep to the bottom. There's a bad bump right in the center in 3 and 4 right here that you really want to try to watch out for. If you don't, you're going to shove up the racetrack and possibly hit somebody like you saw in the open. I think Taylor Hurst hit somebody up the track earlier. As we go back down to turn 1 and 2, you really just want to kind of keep it to the bottom tonight. If you're sticking to the bottom, that's saving tires. That's the key, as Tyler said. He's really put tire saving into the boys' hands tonight. So we look for a lot of that.
I think we have heard that verbatim time and time again from these drivers. But, of course, Brandon, we'll let you go ahead and get to your duties as a driver. It's good to see you back behind the wheel, if anything, for tonight. And who knows, maybe you can bring back some big bucks tonight. $3,500. It'd be a really nice payday, wouldn't it, Brandon? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to Disney World this weekend. My daughter is going to be turning 4, so hopefully we can have a nice hotel.
Well, happy birthday to her as well. And yeah, maybe you can get a nicer experience, maybe a better hotel room with the money tonight. Who knew that sim racing could help potentially your daughter have a better experience at Disney World? So, Brandon, thank you so much. And again, good luck tonight. We don't play favorites up here, but of course, we'll wish you the best of luck. And I think Michael's along with me as well. But coming up, we want to show you the drivers that will be taking place. They've already locked themselves in. We have the stars of today and even the stars of yesterday, if you've been watching this series long enough. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for tonight's eNASCAR iRacing All-Star Race.
Welcome to the 2021 eNASCAR iRacing All-Star Race. The world's best come together to clash for $5,000 in the Music City here at Nashville Superspeedway. Drivers earned their way into tonight's main show by being a race winner or pole sitter in the 2020 or 2021 eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series, or as a former eNASCAR champion. Ladies and gentlemen, these are your eNASCAR iRacing All-Stars. Piloting the number 75 Ford Mustang for Mode Motorsports, representing Darien, Illinois, it is Mad Busa. In the number 9 Jim Beaver Esports Ford Mustang, driving out of Brownsburg, Indiana, grillin' and chillin', it's Michael Guest. Driving the number 32 2311 Toyota Camry from the shores of Halifax, Nova Scotia, with a win of 3 poles, it's the weatherman himself, Keegan Leahy. For William Byron Esports, hailing from Concord, North Carolina, the leader of Clamp Nation in the number 97 Chevrolet, Logan Clampett. From Not That Springfield, Illinois, driving the number 36 for Letarte Esports, it is Chris Shearbird. From the heart of NASCAR country in Concord, North Carolina, a former champion and driving the number 8 Junior Motorsports Chevrolet, it is Michael Conti. Repping the set in the Exit Ford Mustang from deep in the heart of Cypress, Texas, it is number 4 Ryan Luza. From the very easily pronounceable Biloxi, Mississippi, driving the number 77 Kligerman Sports Chevrolet, it is Bob Bryant. Representing Space Station Gaming from Temecula, California, Earth, in the number 55 Ford Mustang, it is eNASCAR rookie Vicente Salas. Also out of Temecula, California, with 2 wins and 3 poles, driving the number 23 2311 Toyota Camry, it's Mitchell DeYoung. Richmond Raceway Esports' own, driving the number 46 Toyota out of Midland, North Carolina, it is Jimmy Mullis. In the Richmond Raceway Esports number 90 Toyota Camry, hailing from Clinton, Connecticut, 2019 champion Zach Novak. Having worn the crown in 2015 and piloting the number 58 Chevrolet Camaro, it is Kenny Humpy. An eNASCAR OG in the number 08 Chevrolet and the 2010 season champion, Richard Towler. Last year's champion trying to be this year's All-Star in the number 25 William Byron Esports Chevrolet from Claremont, North Carolina, the Audi boss, Nick Ottinger. Mastering the tricky triangle earlier this year out of Fresno, California, driving the Letarte Esports 83 Chevrolet, it is Bobby Zalensky. From Team Dillon Esports, the number 3 Chevrolet out of Louisville, Kentucky, bringing the volume is Corey Vincent. Straight out of Houston, Texas, in the number 10 Stewart Haas Racing Ford, trying to strike out the competition, it's Graham Bolin. Driving the number 38 Ford Mustang out of Matthews, North Carolina, straight to Twitch from your living room, Kurt Chu, it is Casey Kerwin. Piloting the number 1 Elliott Sadler Esports Toyota Camry from the streets of Charlotte, North Carolina, it is Ashton Crowder. Returning for the first time in 2021, driving the number 5 Ford from Frostburg, Maryland, it is Colin Keister. Also steaming back to eNASCAR iRacing competition, piloting the number 80 Chevrolet from Alva, Florida, Brandon Cattell. A name synonymous with eNASCAR competition, hailing from Cape Coral, Florida, driving the Joe Gibbs Racing 51 Toyota, it is 4-time Ray Alfala.
And back live for the virtual Nashville Superspeedway, we say good evening, sim racing fans, and welcome to the 2021 eNASCAR iRacing All-Star Race. The Open has come and gone, Tim. We are in qualifying for this 2021 exhibition. I don't know how we can top the Open, to be honest, but I'm excited as we see the best of the best in sim racing get set to fight for a $5,000 purse.
Yeah, I have a feeling that these drivers are going to try to top what we just saw in the Open. We saw some
2021
tire conservation, and I think those all-star drivers that we're about to see may have learned just a little bit about what this race is going to hold, what you have to do to get yourself up in front at the end. And by the way, there's a little prize for that top spot too.
Yeah, a little bit of cash never hurts. To be honest, I didn't think we'd be talking about saving tires really that much coming into a shorter race like this, but that appeared as a theme in just the 40-lap Open race. Now, we'll have to get through the qualifying that's happening now and a heat race as well before we actually get to our 60-lap feature, Tim. But with 2 comp yellows in that feature, we could see a lot of the same. Maybe who's fast early, may not be who's fast late.
And, you know, we saw a couple of hip checks or two with this package. Everybody's really on top of each other. So, you know, we're talking about conserving tires, but you're also going to conserve the race car too, and maybe conserve that temper just a little bit and make sure everything is somewhat straight to get yourself to the end and pick up that checkered flag.
They can try. I wonder how many times getting door slammed it'll take for somebody to lose that temper. Of course, it's going to be an exciting race. $3,500 goes to the race winner. $1,000 goes to second. $500 to third. So, you know, Tim, we can be cute and say it's for bragging rights, but I think once these guys are strapped in, they might have some fun. It's a new car, fixed setup, a little bit less stress maybe than a normal race because there's no long-term implications, but if there's money on the line,
welcome to the 2021 eNASCAR iRacing All-Star Race.
I'm expecting
best come together to class for 5,000.
What did you say there was there? A $2,500 difference between first and second?
Yeah, that's substantial.
That's enough to move somebody out of the way coming with the checkered flag. We saw it with Michael Guest in that Open. He had to move Dylan Duvall to get in to a transfer spot. I think we'll see a little bit of that here this evening. It might not necessarily be for the lead, but it will be at somewhere throughout the field.
To be exciting. Of course, it is interesting qualifying tonight that is just wrapping up. Unlike in the Open, Tim, where it was individual single lap runs, these drivers just completed a 4-lap qualifying session. We talk about all the unique things. You just heard from Tyler Hudson, the thought process that making this event unique. Drivers had to complete 4 clean laps, and the qualifying was set on the average of their 4 laps. So that's very interesting. But now that that's out of the way, let's take a look at a race analysis.
Yeah, we're going to go 40 laps in this heat race. The feature is going to be 60. We'll look at those competition cautions in the feature being 20 and 45. We'll talk about that a little bit later on, though the setup is a fixed setup. Everybody is running the same underneath these next-gen cars. Tire sets available for the feature. They're going to have 2, including the one they start with. And that first place prize at the end of the night, a cool $3,500. And that's the Azus Race Analysis as we get ready to go racing here in the heat race.
Not bad at all. Let's hand things back over to tonight's Grand Marshal. It is Nashville Superspeedway President Eric Bosis for the most famous words in motorsports.
So glad that Nashville Superspeedway is included in the iRacing platform and happy to be hosting the All-Star race today at our beautiful track. And I hope everyone is going to have a safe race, a competitive race like we had not too long ago at the real place. But right now, everybody get ready. Drivers, start your engine.
Let's take a look at your starting grid. The top 10 in qualifying are inverted. So Alfalo was 10th, Mullis was 9th. They'll line up 1 and 2 for this heat race. Alongside of Logan Clampett and Ashton Crowder back on row 2. Michael Conte and Vicente Salas, your top 6. Mitchell DeYoung will start 7th tonight alongside defending series champion Nick Ottinger. And then your top 2 in queue are 9th and 10th. That'll belong to Bolin and Luza.
And those that just missed the invert, it's Bobby Zielinski, Casey Kerwin in row number 6, Chris Shearburn, Corey Vincent, former series champion Zach Novak, Colin Keister returning to the series for this evening, and Brandon Cattell, same song, different dance. Bob Bryant, Michael Guest, who had to work his way in from the Open, Keegan Leahy starts 20th, and Matt Busa, your Open winner, starts scratch on the field.
Look top to bottom at your starting grid here this afternoon from the virtual Nashville Superspeedway. Another big thanks to the track president at Nashville Superspeedway, Eric Moses, for being our grand marshal. Tim, there was a real cool two-part mini docu-series called The Return to Nashville Superspeedway, an inside look at NASCAR's return to Music City. That was real fun to watch. It details the Cup race there a couple of weeks back. You could watch that when we're done here tonight on NASCAR's YouTube channel. Certainly a really good look. So fun to have Nashville date back on the NASCAR calendar. Fun to have Nashville in eNASCAR, if you will, for the first time ever for this all-star race. And I wonder how aggressive we'll be, right? We're talking about the invert coming into this thing. It's a 40-lap race just to mix things up for the features. So it's certainly an interesting development. We'll see how it plays through and how many cars are left on the racetrack maybe by the time we get to the end of this one. Again, there are no caution flags for incidents, and in this one, no competition cautions. So this is a good old-fashioned 40-lap dash.
And let's talk to one of these drivers that's kind of mired in the middle of that top 10 invert. Mike, what? Okay, so we got Harry Potter, and is that Dumbledore, Michael?
Tim, you know, I get a lot of flack for the glasses on a race-by-race basis. So Adam, who's now Dumbledore, and myself said, we're going to play it up. We're going to do it right. And we got the whole get-up going here. We got the scar. We got the glasses. We even got the outfit. We got a little wand right here. We're going to wave this with about 10 to go, and we can start going, and, you know, we won't be saving tires anymore. But, yeah, I mean, this is the all-star race, and, you know, I'm usually a pretty straight and narrow kind of guy, keep it between the lines, head down focus. But this is a fun night. You know, we got WR1 on the get up here, so still looking out for the sponsors, but we just had to play into this. And if you're showing Adam, he just looks absolutely ridiculous. And if I was looking at him right now, I wouldn't be able to concentrate. So I'm excited, I'm letting loose, and hopefully it's a good race for everybody.
Adam, I thought Dumbledore had like more platinum in his beard. You almost look like Santa Claus. No? Conti, you need to wave. Wait, yeah, there you go. Wave the wand. Make sure he hits the right button there.
Yeah, sorry about that. Honestly, I feel like Redneck Jesus. So it kind of got what we got right now, and we made it work. So we're just here to have fun.
Okay, Conti, what do you got to do knowing that open? What do you got to do to win this thing tonight?
Well, like I told you, Tim, you just got to parade around the conga line for about 30 laps, and then Adam Dumbledore will tickle his beard, and I'll wave the wand, and with about 10 to go, we'll get going here. So excited to do this, and hope we can put on a good show for everybody watching.
Have some fun. Good luck up today, boys.
Thank you.
And I believe we also have Graham Boland going to join us just before we go green. Graham, you didn't hit the invert right. What do you got to do to get through this dirty air and get to the front?
Just send it. I mean, the seat race is going to be important so we can line up for the feature. So I'm just going to send it and hope for the best. Really, I didn't even try to. I just try to go as fast as possible, and wherever I'm going, I'm going. I don't really try to play the games with the time and stuff, but hopefully it works out for the best.
You trying to get that track position. What can you learn here over 40 laps?
Just try to be patient, I guess, and save a little bit of tire, and then we'll be good.
Go get him.
All right, thank you. Smithfield.com.
There you go. There's Graham Boland, driver of the Smithfield number 10, as we get ready to roll to the green flag here next time. Bye, Evan. So we're going to look at the Azus race analysis one more time here as we get ready to go. 40 laps in this heat race. But, Evan, I think if Adam dresses up like that again, I think Michael has to dress up as an elf, because I got the Santa Claus vibes instead of Dumbledore.
Yeah, naturally, you know, speaking, Tim, when I think of Nashville, the first thing I think of is Harry Potter, right? So I think they nailed the theme.
Yeah, absolutely. As you see the 8 on the screen, they've got some work to do. They'll have to wave the wand here as we get ready to come to green.
Wild and wacky all-star night, and we're happy that you're with us on the iRacing Sports Network. All these drivers make the 60-lap feature. It is only to determine qualified position. The caution flag is not even in the flag stand for this heat as we get set for a 40-lap dash for the Nashville Superspeedway. Ray Alfalla qualified 10th. The inverts got him on pole. We're racing for the heat. Much like in the Open, your race leader, no issues getting through early. Single file, Mullis second, Clampett third, but here is the fighting. Fourth on back, Conti to the inside. He'll make an early pass on Ashton Crowder.
Look at the run that DeYoung gets on the outside, trying to pick up a couple of more positions. I'm interested to see the flow of this race, Evan, because we saw in the Open it was 40 laps, and you're going for the top two to transfer into the next race. Yes, there is the All-Star race to come. This is the heat race. You're going to get a position in that starting grid coming up for the feature, but how much sense of urgency do you have here to move forward into that next race?
Well, and you heard Conti suggest, even to the feature for those first 30 laps or so, you just kind of ride the line, try to stay out of trouble. How much is track position worth it? Start of the night, I would have said pretty worth it as we rode on board with Ryan Luza. He was your pole sitter, but he's back in P10 because of the invert, Tim. But after all the guys up front were, starting in the high teens and 20s to win that one, I'm not sure that you really want to push it that much in this heat for track position. Is it worth wrecking for 10th at risk of dropping back to 20th? Not really sure. So we'll see. Certainly got your side-by-side battles. You got Mitchell DeYoung up on the move early. He's siding with Vicente Salas and some other drivers. But, and it's the one car. Crowder's into the outside wall, and on his lid, he takes DeYoung with him, and also involved is Bobby Zelensky. Remember, there's no yellows, and at least Ryan Luza gets a chuckle out of it, Tim, because he wasn't in the yellow.
They'll get a fresh car coming up for the feature later on, but I think Ryan Lewis's face kind of said it all. Thankfully, it wasn't me, as he goes by and drives by from that one. And the one other footnote I want to make on that little point that we made earlier about those drivers starting at the back and moving their front in the Open, two of those drivers that were in that race are sitting back, with a couple of drivers that are moving throughout the field. They're sitting in the back half already trying to conserve, and I think with what we just saw right there, they might be safe back there.
And maybe a little bit of timidness. Of course, all of these drivers, plus your top two finishers from that Open a little bit earlier. So your Open race winner, Matt Busta, second place finisher, Michael Guest, transferring into this. All the other cars is there's a Mitchell DeYoung modified going through the grass on the front stretch here at Nashville. All these drivers, Tim, locked in because they are previous race winners in this series from this year and last year, plus pole sitters, or if you're a prior series champion or a prior all-star winner. So that's why we had, of the 21 field, 19 of these drivers were locked in before the night started. I wonder how much attention they were paying to the Open as we see Luza down to the inside of Conti. And here's a unique thing, Tim. Yeah, the green flag's out, but let's try to dial up Keegan Leahy.
Let's try to dial up Keegan, and Keegan's not doing a whole lot of sawing on the wheel. What happened? Yeah, what happened?
There was a sideways car in front of me, and I hit him.
That's the easiest thing to say. So with this package that we're seeing, it looks like a lot of fun. What do we expect coming up here? Obviously, the 40 lap, we see a couple of drivers making some daring moves, but really not much when we put $3,500 on the line coming up here for this 60-lap dash at the end of this one. What do you expect the competition to do?
Well, there's a lot of laps in the heat, and there's two competition cautions too, and a lot of people are going to play these differently. So you saw it in the Open. Strategy can end up winning the race, not just how hard you drive in the first few laps. So there's a few guys here trying to race for the win, but a lot of them I don't think they care. They got some strategy up their sleeve. So we'll see how it goes.
So you mentioned that for the feature. What's your forecast for the rest of this race? Because obviously you're sitting on pit road. What are these guys here? Is there any sort of advantage they're getting here?
They're getting an advantage over me because they're getting a lot of practice right now. That's what I was most excited for this heat for. It was really my first experience driving this car in a pack in a competitive environment. So I'm missing out on that. But that's okay. I get to watch now and sit on pit road and put my feet up.
Well, the good news is that you have a fresh car coming up for the feature. The other bad news is that you have some work to do. So we'll let you get to that. Good luck the rest of the evening.
Thanks, Tim. Enjoy the race.
That's Keegan Leahy, driver of the number 32. And Evan, we were supposed to talk to him under green when he was driving the race car, but you can't drive the race car when it's sitting on pit road.
I mean, we are under green, so at least we're under green flag conditions, but not exactly what we were hoping for Keegan, and hopefully the indications from the open that you're able to fight through traffic, it's good for him because he's likely to be on the tail end of the field for this one. But wait a minute, Tim, I thought Brandon was just on the countdown in the green. Who let this man back in a race car? I think got him on the radio.
Well, he was driving around a little bit showing us how this racetrack was. Brandon, how'd they let you on the racetrack during the race?
I don't know whose idea it was, but it was a pretty bad one.
But you got a little conga line in front of you here. What do you got to do to pass these guys? What's the strategy?
It looks like they're all saving tire right now. I'm just trying to offset the air bubble. There's a pretty bad air bubble right now as Zach Novak's looking to my inside. Just trying to offset the air bubble so I can get a little bit of a run on the straightaway. I know these guys are really trying to save here for the end of the run, but I'm just going all out. I don't care. It's the All-Star.
I know you've been doing a great job with us on the Countdown to Green show, but what does it feel like to be a part of this series again for one night and mix it up with Michael Conti, Chris Shearburn, and Zach Novak?
It's pretty fun. I remember how much better they were than me. So Zach Novak's going to take me 3 wide down the back.
Now, you already said there's the money is spent for the $3,500, right?
Yeah, definitely.
There you go. You're busy. Wheel that race car to the front. Have fun.
See you guys.
Evan, he is focused. Brandon could tell trying to fight off Chris Shearburn. You know what, though? He picked up that spot when he was talking to us, and we got a battle for the lead, but it looks fit.
I appreciate Brandon giving us the time. I didn't think those show cars that they used for the lap guides had a full engine in them, but I guess he got a nice deal on that radius machine. Of course,
he's running 11th, though.
Yeah, he's doing all right as we watch the battle for the race lead. Cattell eligible for this All-Star race by being a 2020 race winner in the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series, even though he is not a competitor in 2021. Same story for Colin Keister, who is running in 14th position. So fun to see those two names back on track as here comes Logan Clampett now onto the inside of Ray Alfala. The 51 has been so good at maintaining the track position tonight, Tim. They have rocketed some 3 seconds ahead of Ryan Luza and company from third on back. But for the first time tonight, it is Logan Clampett leading as we near halfway.
Yeah, they know there is no yellow in this race. They've got a big lead, or a substantial lead compared to what we saw in the open. But you mentioned it. We're still not to halfway yet. So how much are they using up their tires compared to those drivers behind that might be saving a little bit, that might have got a little bit of that scare a little bit earlier with some of those drivers that were bobbing and weaving there as Vicente takes a look at the exec cars in front of him.
He's got a bit of a duo up the road. That's Ryan Luza, followed by Casey Kerwin. So those teammates doing a good job of running inside of the top 5 positions at the moment. You got Salas in there, Bolin, Mullis, Vincent, Ottinger, and Conti. The drivers inside of the top 10 in the running order at the moment, and not nearly the 3 wide we saw in that open. So clearly drivers a little bit more conservative, but Keegan Leahy had some issues, Tim. So did Mitchell DeYoung. He's also on pit road. You're with him.
Yeah, let's go to the purple room and chat with Mitchell DeYoung. Mitchell, what happened during that one?
We were just kind of rolling around the outside, looking to gain a little track position, get settled in for the race, and just an incident happened right to my inside, and it happens. We're collected in that. We have about 40 minutes to repair, so I don't think we're going to be getting back out there for this one, but at least we have, the big one coming up. So, just take the little bit that we learned and, get ready for the next one, especially with the competition yellows. So that'll be pretty interesting.
Now, we did see you mowing the lawn a little bit earlier on. Did Nashville pay you extra for that?
Got to pick up a side job when you can. That was a good time for it.
There you go. We wish you all the best coming up in this 60-lapper a little bit later on.
Thanks, Tim.
That's Mitchell DeYoung, and I believe we're going to chat with Ray Alfala. And Ray, you're up here battling for the lead, coming to the halfway point. What's the strategy here to try to set up Logan Clampett?
He passed me, so I'm just hanging on right now. This is we pulled away from everybody by a lot, which is normally a good thing, but it might not be this time. So I don't know. It's my first race with this car, so learning what it expects. I'm trying to make this thing turn, but it won't. So, just learning for the rest of the night.
all the open guys were talking about conserving tires. We saw Matt Busa kind of go through the field at the end. How much can you conserve being up here trying to chase a 97?
Yeah, well, there's no yellows, so, they have to lose his, 2 seconds back, and he's got to make that up. He probably will, because they're all drafting, so. Yeah, we're figuring it out on the fly. Logan's got more speed than me right now. But, we'll see how far we fall here.
Go get him.
Thank you.
That's Rael Fallon. Let's go back through the field and chat with Casey Kerwin back in position number 4. And Casey, Ray just mentioned the gap that those two had built in front. What do you have to do with your teammate to try to reel them in?
Yeah, we're trying to work together somewhat. I got Graham underneath me now, but yeah, it's kind of weird having to save tires. It's kind of interesting to see when they're gonna fall off and whatnot. I don't know. We'll see how it works out. I haven't done a whole lot in this car yet. I'm now getting trained back a little bit. There's a lot of cars behind me, but we're starting to run them down. We'll see if we can get there, but I don't know. I'm not really sure. We're gonna find out together.
Well, you've only got 3 back, and you've got Corey Vincent now to the outside, so this should be a little bit easier, right?
Yeah, hopefully give me a nice shove down the back here. Oh, I might be able to clear down. Oh, we're golden.
Yeah,
back to the bottom.
You're clear enough. Go get him.
Yep, thank you.
That's Casey Kerwin, driver of the 38, Evan.
How many clear enoughs is that? And we haven't even made it to the feature. I'm sensing a theme that these drivers are going to be a little bit physical. And with these next-gen cars, Tim, it looked like they could be, right? We saw a lot of touching in that open race, door-to-door, bumper-to-bumper, and for the most part, a lot of it drivers were able to get away with. So it looks like if you're going to let these guys be physical, that they're certainly going to use that.
You kind of saw Jimmy Mullis fight that car to the inside at Casey, and Casey maintaining his composure. And Ray and Casey said the same thing there, Evan. These drivers don't have a whole lot of time with this next-gen car. They're focused on Tuesday nights with the current package that we run in the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing series. So not a whole lot of time with this next-gen car. So the practice that these guys are getting, and Keegan mentioned it because he's not getting it. He's sitting on pit road. This 40-lap race might not necessarily be for any money or trophies. There's a little bit of bragging rights on the line, but there's a lot of practice and a lot to be learned here, as we saw with Casey Kerwin. Now he's going to get back there and try to get back in touch with his teammate.
Yeah, curious if that advantage of racing in the open would help Michael Guest and Busa and some of these other drivers who have had the track time, but Guest running 14th, Busa riding 17th at the moment, so maybe not a ton. But yeah, you're going to want to learn everything you can. But this does also determine your starting position when we go to that 60-lap feature race coming up next here on the iRacing Sports Network. Smoking a slider, not a spinner. What a save for Ryan Luza, who was dead to rights in the center of 3 and 4. He got ushered around by Graham Bolin, but did a great job of catching that XZ Ford Mustang.
Yeah, definitely not going to help the tires, but did a great effort to try to keep that thing off the wall and off the rest of the competitors. But now he's got Michael Conti, he's got Zach Novak, and he's got Brandon Cattell on his back bumper. So, again, going to school, learning a little thing about this race car. Let's put that in the memory bank for the 4.
Let's ride on board with our Coca-Cola onboard camera. It's with Corey Vincent in 7th position. Let's list it in on a next-gen NASCAR Cup car. Well, that's what it sounds like to ride on board with the 2022 NASCAR Cup Series car. That was the Coca-Cola onboard camera with Corey Vincent, his Coke Zero Chevy. For Team Dillon Esports, still in 7th behind a side-by-side battle with Jimmy Mullis on the inside of Nick Ottinger. Tim, once upon a time, I mentioned first and second were 3 seconds ahead of everybody else. Well, Nick Ottinger and company are closing that gap. We're chatting with the driver of the 25.
Yeah, let's chat with Nick Ottinger. Nick, what do you have to do to reel these guys in front and take away this heat race?
Let them get side by side, man. It's a little tough battle in this dirty air, but it's manageable just to get through the center and power off against these guys. The draft is pretty extreme in some circumstances, but it's gonna be fun. I see my teammate up there, 97, and Logan Clampett up there, so in our Logitech G machine. I think if we get these guys side by side, maybe get a couple of them slowing each other down, may have a better shot.
And you've got a few of them behind you already. You're used to these big money situations, conserving tires. Your team's used to doing it. Does it give you any advantage tonight racing for 3,500?
Oh, it about got rowdy in front of me. That's some good timing there, Tim. Someone's like back at Homestead again.
Keep that thing clean. Get those guys in your ear, and we'll chat with you after the race.
I appreciate it.
As Nick Ottinger, driver the number 25. And Evan, I got to sit and listen to Nick Ottinger's team last year during that Homestead race. And the way they calculate everything, speaking about calculations, there's some close calls right here in the middle of this pack. But the way they calculate everything and talk Nick through it and talk the strategy through, they're really calculated. It wouldn't surprise me that Nick Ottinger is there at the end fighting for this win.
Rea Falla has been swallowed up by this pack. He is working hard on Zach Novak to fight back in a battle. That is for 8th and 9th position. But, remember, it was 3 seconds to the good for both Clampett and Falla up front. But Ray's going to nearly drop out of the top 10 if Conti, Luza, and Cattell can get to him. And the advantage for Clampett now, just 0.8 of a second over Bolin, Kerwin, Ottinger, and company. We'll see if all these cars mid-pack in a line are able to draft up to your leader, Tim. They took 0.3 out of Logan Clampett's lead that last lap alone.
So if you're just joining us, this is the heat race. We're going to go 40 laps here. We got 6 of those laps left to go as Ray and Novak go at it. We're going to set up for the feature race. 60 laps, fixed setups here. Everybody's got the same thing. We'll talk about tire sets and competition cautions when it comes to the feature race in a bit. But that big number at the bottom, 3,500, there's a lot that can be spent. Brandon already... See, here's the thing, though, Evan. Brandon said in the pre-race show that he was already going to Disney World. Don't you do that after you win the race? Don't you plan that after, not before the race when you win the money?
He might be the only driver in this, if he wins the money, it's going to be keeping him out of the negative as opposed to putting him in the positive. He may, not coming out of retirement, but coming back to this level here on a Tuesday night, of course, trying to get back into this series. But he may be here out of necessity. He needs that money. He's got to take care of the daughter and have a good trip to Disney. So we'll see what he can do with it. That Teddy Carr, Graham Bolin is ahead of quite the fight for third on the back. Nick Ottinger had to work over Casey Kerwin to defend that position. Kerwin going to cross him back to the inside, and we'll go side by side down the back straightaway for third. You're on board with Vincent, but look at Jimmy Mullis. He pushed Ottinger that whole back straightaway. He's just trying to get that outside a little bit more momentum. Watch him do it again this time. Let's see if Vincent wants to help. No, he'll undercut Kerwin 3 wide to turn 1.
Yeah, let's go 3 down into corner number 1. Vicente right behind them. Novak's there as well. Jimmy Mullis stuck on the outside. Jimmy was the one making moves here the last 2 laps until Corey Vincent decided to go to the inside. We're going to go 4 maybe. It looks like Novak's looking. Vicente goes to the outside. Somehow Mullis clears all this, and the 3 is there. And oh, by the way, we got a battle for the lead too.
Graham Bolin has reeled in Logan Clampett. He has been on cruise control, but with 2 laps to go, is pole position in the All-Star race in jeopardy. And all that fighting for third has allowed Bolin to get away. So he's the only driver with a real good look here. He'll have the draft, Tim. It's not a question of if he'll get there, it's when and how he executes it.
If they get feisty up in front, though, Nick Ottinger, you better believe, is going to be right on this pair. Graham Bolin flashes that nose to the inside. There's the Smithfield number 10 taking a look to the inside. The battle for the lead comes down to the white flag. Can Logan clamp it, cross him over, and get it back, or drive it in deep to turn 1?
He wants to fight him off. Here comes Ottinger. The leaders touch in turn 2. It'll push, clamp it up to the fence. They're still on each other's door. Here comes Ottinger. A block by Bolin. Now the 25 to the inside. Trying to squeeze 3 wide. It's Graham Bolin who breaks free at a turn 4. 3 wide for second. Bolin steals the heat race, coming from 9th on the grid and leading only the final 2 laps. What a drive for that number 10 Smithfield Ford.
He's happy. I think he'd be happier if he won the feature.
Tim. It's just the heat. All business for Graham Bolin. Eric Almirola won in that Smithfield Ford not that long ago, so he's got to do the same thing here tonight, and he's got a good spot as he'll be on pole for the feature. We'll take a quick opportunity to step aside. When we come back, we're going racing with $5,000 on the line. You're watching the eNASCAR iRacing All-Star Race.
We've learned to savor the moments that were always there. And they never tasted this good.
Regular season coming to a close, and what happened left eyes wide open with displays of dominance, long shot surprises, and tracks that turned veterans into rookies. I am still not done. In fact, I'm saving the best for last, and a playoff spot for anyone that wants it bad enough. I am NASCAR.
Coverage of tonight's race is brought to you by Coca-Cola, the official fan refreshment of eNASCAR. By DoorDash, proud sponsor of 2311 Racing. And by Asus, the official gaming hardware partner of the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series. We're back live in virtual Lebanon, Tennessee at the Nashville Superspeedway, talking next gen. Tim Terry, and here's just a little look at all the things that'll be changing on the NASCAR Cup Series cars in 2022.
It's pretty neat to see all this come through. I'm a short track guy, so to bolt on the front and rear clip on these race cars is going to be pretty neat to see next year. It's so much work that NASCAR has done to bring this next gen car up, and we're honored to see it here on iRacing, honored to see it here tonight, but I can't wait to see the real thing hit the racetrack in 2022.
And a lot changes behind the wheel as well, right? You go from the H pattern to a sequential shifter. You go from 4 gears to a 5 speed. So a lot changing as NASCAR enters its new era next year. That era you can drive right now at iRacing.com. But all of the prerequisites are out of the way as you see the field roll. We've gotten through the open. We've gotten through the heat. It is time to race with money on the line for the virtual Nashville Superspeedway. Let's take a look at your eNASCAR starting grid. It is the finishing order from the heat. So Graham Bolin and Nick Ottinger will be side by side on the front row. Behind them, Logan Clampett and Jimmy Mullis will be on row 2. Corey Vincent and Zach Novak on row 3. Casey Kerwin and Ray Alfala on row 4, with Vicente Salas and Michael Conti rounding out your top 10.
And your second half of the field, Brandon Cattell, Ryan Luza, the next row, with Chris Shearburn, Colin Keister. Having to come from the second half of this field, Michael Guest, Bob Bryant, Bobby Zielinski, Matt Busa, and then the drivers that had some tough luck into the heat race. Mitchell DeYoung, Ashton Crowder, and Keegan Leahy complete your field.
Top to bottom at your starting grid, of course, the drivers that raced in from earlier today in the open race, Matt Busa and Michael Guest. All other drivers locked in based on race wins either in 2020 or 2021 in the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series. As the lights on top of the pace car go out, Tim will bring back in our countdown to green analyst and driver Brandon Cattell behind the wheel, and we'll hand things off to him to walk us through the start of this All-Star race.
Oh, wow. That's going to be fun.
You had the broadcast time. You've had the 12 weeks of practice here, so it's all you on this one. Good luck.
I keep telling our producer Drew he needs to throw me in the broadcast, but I guess it's finally happening as a driver tonight. Yeah. We also got Brian Blackford as my spotter, thanks to him tonight. So wow, this is gonna be fun, guys.
Well, normally we say it's the road to $300,000. Tonight it's the road to $3,500 in this All-Star exhibition. Getting set for a 60-lap race from the Nashville Superspeedway. The first competition caution in this main event will come at the end, lap number 20. Pace car in this time. Bolin in control of the field and on board with Brandon Cattell.
All right, buddy, going. You're clear. Hold the bottom.
I'm following Vicente Salas here. He's already starting to do the tire saving mode here. Got a bunch of guys actually trying to do the tire saving. It's going to be one of those races, guys. I think with my strategy, I'll tell you guys that a little bit later. I don't want to be giving it out to anybody. As we see, pretty much a lot of these guys are saving some tire. Maybe I might be able to lead some laps and shine a little bit. Got Nick Ottinger and Corey Vincent side by side. Nick Ottinger, your former champion, he's going to save some tire. And this is pretty mellow right now, but it's still pretty fun trying to go through the field and trying to see who's going to be saving tires, who's not. It looks pretty much, this is pretty much the group that's going to kind of ride. I think Dylan Naval, or no, that's Graham Bolin that's out there who's decided he's just going to go full throttle here in the beginning and try to get as far away as possible. Evan, are you having more fun than I am?
Well, I'm just watching you make passes. That's +5. Going
Faster,
for +6 on
Faster,
the outside
buddy.
of Michael Conti. I mean, making some moves, Tim Terry, as Brandon Cattell early in this race rolled off 11th spot, but I'm showing a top 5 just 4 laps into this thing.
I'm sitting here listening to Brian on the radio and him telling him to flash the nose and get that spot. And now he's going to go under Ray Alfala to pick up the position, or try to. Blackford is one of the veterans of this series as well. Miss seeing him here on Tuesday nights, but great to hear his voice too.
A lot of experience on the pit box. You'll see that across all of these teams. Oftentimes, drivers will have spotters and crew chiefs aiding them that are top-level sim racers in their own respect, and that's another position gain. Brandon Cattell is your biggest mover, +7. He's on the back of champion from a couple of years back, Zach Novak. Cattell down to the inside again on the 90. He'll try to split up the Ridgefield Raceway Esports duo, get in between them. So I don't know if this is good Tim, or if Brandon's the only guy who didn't get the memo on saving the tires. He is all the way up to third, and at this rate should have that Sunoco Toyota in no time to the inside in turn 1, and Brandon Cattell is now up to P2.
Well, he has the spotlight on him, right? He wants to get up there, give some airtime for Radius, and get up there and lead some laps. Did Drew give him any sort of prerequisites on if he doesn't finish in the top 5 or doesn't win this race, he's fired for next week?
I'm just impressed that he could talk to us while he's racing, right? I mean, I get stressed out enough doing hosted racing on the sim and tell everybody around me to be quiet because I got to focus, and there's no money on the line. Not to mention that you're racing against the best of the best. So pretty exciting stuff. But let's bring in a duo funded a little bit further back. How about the William Byron Esports gang? Nick Ottinger, Michael Conti team. We got them both.
We got Logan Clampett and Nick Ottinger here, and two different aspects of this field, boys. Logan, what are you doing way back there?
Well, you saw what Matt Boosa did last race. I think a lot of people really thought of this strategy. And, just going to try and play it out here. I think you got to do something different to win this race. And that's exactly what we're doing. Just going to try and save tires and maybe go hard the next run and see where we end up.
Nick, you got a set of tires in the pits. When do you throw it on?
Well, hopefully at the last pit stop. I mean, that's what this whole group behind us is doing, so that's what we're banking on. Not a too difficult strategy to grasp, but Logan, you having fun back there?
I sure am. Having a blast.
Is there any plans to hook up at all and try to win this thing? And if you guys do get out in front, is there any team orders on who wins this $3,500 tonight?
Nope, I don't think so. Well, we're just gonna race it off.
We've done a lot of brawling and offline testing with each other.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
maybe a lot of
being
wall
a
action.
I got one more question for you though, Logan. If your roommate is Harry Potter, why aren't you a character tonight?
Well, because his crew chief is a character,
There's Professor Snape and a bunch of others, right?
Would have been pretty funny for me to dress up. That would have been a pretty good idea, I think.
That's an idea for next year's All-Star race. Go get him, boys.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
And I believe, Evan, do we have the Exet boys here as well? Getting ready to try to win this thing. They look pretty good together as Brandon Cattell leads a lap. Casey Kerwin, Ryan Luza, boys, what do you have to do to team up to try to win this thing tonight?
I think a little bit of what we're doing right now, we're kind of saving tires, gonna stick together. We'll be around each other for the second stage, so yeah, it'll be interesting how it all plays out with how much tire everyone's got, and then of course everyone's got a set in the pits whenever they want it. So
I don't know about this. Everyone's saving, so I don't know if we're gonna have more tires in the pack in front of us, or if we're just gonna have the same tires. So I don't know. It's definitely wild. But as soon as this competition caution flies, you're gonna see the action pick up a lot. You're probably gonna see a lot of wrecking. So we'll see.
Ryan, you had to dodge one in the heat race. How close was that for you?
I was close. I just didn't really matter in the grand scheme of things because they're all going to come out here and save tires in this first run anyway, so I wasn't too mad about it. But it'd been cool to at least go up there and try to make it a show with Clampett and Graham. But we still just held on to it, didn't wreck. And we're just, I don't know, we'll see what can happen. Anything can happen in these races, just kind of like the firecrackers. So just try to be there at the end, and if something falls, where we win it, then we win it, but not really expecting anything like that.
Okay, Casey, Ryan's won one of these championships. He's won some of the big money. If he's on your front bumper coming to the white flag or coming to the checkered flag with $3,500 on the line, do you move him?
I mean, I think you got to, but I don't know. I don't know if I want to ruin a chance at having a nice X-Set one too. It's there's a lot of money on the line for both of us, but you definitely don't want to screw it up too bad. So, but the thought will definitely be down in my mind all the way down the backstretch.
That is the most politically correct answer I think we've had all night. Boys, go get him.
Thanks, son.
Casey Kerwin, Ryan Luza repping the set right now and doing a great job, Evan, as they work towards, as they mentioned, the first competition yellow here in a few laps.
Kind of curious if that answer would have been a little bit different, Tim, if they were not both in the booth at the same time. I think that's where that timidness went. I think Casey's going to be thinking, listen, he's won enough money on Tuesday nights. He's a champ. He's got a check. I want one. So it'll be fun to see that, you know, the William Byron Esports guys really weren't together. The XSET guys are trying to be together. We'll see, is one the right answer or the other? And to Casey's point, or I think it was Ryan actually who said it, if everybody's saving tires, Tim, is anybody saving tires? I think everybody's on conservation about it, except our friend Brandon Cattell, who's some 2 seconds ahead of what you're looking at now. This is the battle for third on back.
And you see a couple of teammates there with Richmond Raceway Esports, Jimmy Mullis and Zach Novak going at it. And Nick Ottinger mentioned you throw the tires on during the last pit stop. I'm assuming that last pit stop comes at the end of stage 2, and then you let it eat, and then that's kind of where the gloves come off, right?
First. I mean, that's just what I'm thinking. I don't think you can do it on the first, right? We got 2 competition cautions in this race, 20 and 45. I think you got to go on the second.
Well, let's ask some of these guys here. We got Zach Novak, Jimmy Mullis, and Zach, let's talk about this race. How do you manage this one to A, get by your teammate, and B, win 3,500 tonight?
Well, right now I don't want to get by my teammate. I'm letting him set the pace. You know, I'm confident in Jimmy's tire saving abilities, so I'm just kind of following him around, making my pace off his. And but when it comes down to it, we're gonna brawl, I'm sure. You know, if we're up there going for the win, but just hanging out right now, waiting for this caution, and we'll see what happens.
Jimmy, you've been making some moves tonight, coming off the big win at Loudon. How fun is this package here tonight to be able, as Zach mentioned, to brawl back and forth?
It's a lot of fun. The end of that, you know, the heat race was a blast. I thought I had a shot at it, but, you know, just unfortunately got stuck on the bottom and couldn't really do much. But overall, this is really fun. I'm liking this right now. This is peaceful. I was telling everybody in voice chat, like, nobody's really racing hard. We're all just running laps. It's my kind of race.
We're coming up to a competition yellow. What do we see here on the comp caution? I'm assuming you guys are probably staying out.
Yeah, I think you know, me, Zach, Corey, at least, I know we're gonna stay out and save our tires for the last yellow, and you know, hopefully we've all saved enough right here to where those guys that are way behind are, you know, not gonna be way overdoing us. So we'll see how this goes.
Well, there's the caution. Go get him the rest of the way, boys.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, bud.
That's Zach Novak and Jimmy Mullis, and looking pretty good right now for Richmond Raceway Esports, hanging up here in the top 5 and doing a great job. But there's the competition caution. The first one this evening, Evan, flies at lap number 20.
Yeah, and I think I'm in line with those guys, right? I mean, if in a race, Tim, if we just had a yellow now, then you might have drivers come down to the pit lane and hoping it goes out. But because we know that second one's coming, I have to think that most everybody, if not every single driver, is going to want to save those tires for the end of the race. But you never know. Pit road will be open the next time by, Tim, and you're with the 2311 duo.
It looks like they're running right together on the racetrack. Mitchell DeYoung and Keegan Leahy. And boys, we've already talked to you once here this evening. Keegan, it's good to see you're actually on the racetrack this time.
Thanks, Tim. Yes, I'm happy to be here too.
So you guys are kind of hanging out outside the top 10. Mitchell, is this strategy trying to save a little bit of tires to get yourself to the front here in a bit?
Yeah, just trying to work the strat a little bit. We'll see how this plays out. I think it'll be an interesting one for sure.
So our producer Drew Adamson is going on about the purple room, with Keegan's graphic being purple and Mitchell matching the carpet in the room. So congratulations on that tonight. Drew picked up on that.
That's impressive. I'm stoked Keeg has the same color scheme.
So you guys are coming down here on pit road. You guys aren't taking tires, are you?
We're taking multiple tires, yes.
Okay, so you're taking 3.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. So that's the forecast for. So what are you going to do on the second stop? Are you guys going to stay out and play this strategy?
We have a very secret strategy that you'll see at the end.
I guess we'll leave it at that, boys. Good luck.
Thank you.
Evan, was that a 2-tire stop?
Yeah, that was a 2-tire stop. I think they forgot we had cameras on them and could see what they were doing on pit road. Maybe if you don't vocalize it, the rest of the field doesn't know it. So that's the universal call for everybody who pitted. So we saw Brandon Cattell give up the race lead, was getting that Blackbeard Limited painted number 80 machine, a lot of TV time up front. Cattell came down pit road. So did DeYoung and Leahy, as we saw. Busa, Salas were also down pit road. All of those drivers were in for just 2 tires. So they're obviously, Tim, I think, going to be on big save mode here. Not mind entering pit road towards the back on that second comp yellow and hope that the 2 tires leapfrogs them to the front and they can make it work.
It's got to be something. I think Ottinger came down and just looking back, took fuel only, I think, on his stop. So maybe he's trying to conserve for this second little blast and get those tires on the second stop. But yeah, differing strategies. 2 tires instead of the 4 that we would think, or conserve and have what you have for this second run. This is, I'm intrigued by this.
And now I wonder, when do they start racing in this second half with the lights out on the pace car? Because you do want to have an advantage on the pit lane if you're on the same strategy as the top 13 who have stayed out. We got Colin Keister, though. Tim, a nice face back here on Tuesday night.
Yeah, Colin, welcome back to the series.
How's it going?
So far, so good. Looks like it's going well for you. What do you have to do to win this thing tonight and send a statement to these boys?
I got to keep the tires on here and try to have good track position by the end of this 23 laps or so we got, and try to start up front on the fresh tires.
So let's talk through the restart here. What's going through your mind? Talk us through as you go to green. What goes through the mind of an eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series driver?
Trying to time the start, which I did not right there. Get through the gears, and now we gotta get a little side draft.
And try to get around these guys in front of you, right? You got Michael Guest to the outside.
Yeah, I do want to do that, but I also don't want to burn the tires up too much yet. I know these guys have definitely worn theirs, but I want to burn them off too much. They wear a lot.
So we notice you're in the Space Station colors. How important has Space Station been to help you get on the racetrack here tonight?
They've been a big help. I've been with them through Road to Pro all season, and they've helped out a lot.
Well, we wish you all the best in Road to Pro. Go get him tonight and get yourself some cash.
Thank you. You guys have a good one.
You too. That's Colin Keister, and he's in the fight right now with Xset right behind him, Evan.
Yeah, he's got those Xset cars high and behind, kind of all around him as he races off into 3 and 4. And I just wonder when that turning point is going to come, right? They all want to save tires, but they all also want some sort of track position when they head onto pit road, because they're all going to be in the box about the same time for 4 tires. You can't do both. So what is fast enough, right? You have it the top 3, you have it with the top 5. I mean, we'll see when they decide to turn the wick up. Already more competitive towards the front of the field, left-hand side. Alfala to the outside of Mullis. His teammate there, Novak, as well up top. And somebody we haven't talked much about, Tim, how about Michael Conti side by side with Corey Vincent off of turn 4? That's all a part of the battle for the race lead.
And the Richmond Raceway Esports teammates are still side by side and trying to keep everybody else at bay as they battle for position number 3. It's a high-speed pace lap from about 3rd on back as the Richmond Raceway Esports teammates get single file with Novak in behind Jimmy Mullis, and then I think I kind of caught a little 3 wide there around Brandon Cattell as well. So these drivers at the back wasting a little time getting at it. Oh boy, head onto the wall.
Oh, and a car is in the air. A huge wreck off of turn 4. There are no caution flags for incidents, so we will race on, but that was Chris Shearburn's number 36 Chevrolet that was sent sky high. Zelensky was involved. The 4 car was involved. That's Ryan Luza. The 97, Logan Clampett got damaged. We were just talking with Colin Keister. He got torn up. I mean, that was a mess off the corner, and a lot of those guys, based on that damage, will lose lead lap status here, Tim, before the comp yellow, and that effectively takes them out of the race contention here.
Absolutely it will, and with all the damage that would be obtained to some of those race cars, it's probably going to end their evening as well, or at least the shot at the win. Speaking about a shot at the win, how about a battle for the lead? Here comes the 51 of Ray Alfala looking to the inside of Bolin as they go at it, and that's all it was, a little look into 3, and Jimmy Mullis going to take a little more than a look. He's got the whole car to the inside of the Rowdy Energy 51.
It's going to be a double dose of Richmond Raceway. The 46 is clear. Novak really can't do the same, though. Alfalla pinched him down pretty good in turn number 2 there. And now Casey Kerwin's going to join the mix. He'll push the Nandi car through down on the inside line. Just about sent him into his teammate with that big head of steam he gave him off it into the turn. But, Tim, this is kind of a middle of what we saw in that first run in the Open. A lot more competitive, a lot more passing up front in stage 2 of this feature. And up front, Mullis wants to go all the way to the race lead underneath the 10 car of Bolin. They're nose-to-nose for the race lead. Does Novak make it 3 wide? No, stays loyal to his teammate for now.
Jimmy has been making moves in this whole event, whether it's a heat race or whether it's stage number 2 right here, taking the lead, and now Graham Bolin wants to bring home the bacon and bring it a little bit closer to the front. The Smithfield number 10 to the inside will break up the Richmond Raceway Esports teammates, at least for the time being, and here comes Casey Kerwin to the inside.
Kerwin trying to make that car stick. He rides 4th ahead of Alfalla 5th. You see some side-by-side behind. That's Guest and Vincent fighting. Conti into the mix of that as well. But Jimmy Mullis breaking through and taking the race lead here. Wonder if Graham Bolin gets stuck on the back foot. Tim dialed up with another driver. Vicente Salas is not up front, but he certainly had a good view of that chaos in turn 4.
Okay, Vicente, what did you see out of the windshield?
Well, I just saw him start to wad it up, and I got on the brakes, got her woed down, avoided it, and kind of linked that there were no cautions, so got it going again, and I think now we're gaining on Nick, so hoping we can capitalize.
Well, the good news is that there is a competition caution up the road, so what do you have to do when we have a 10-lap dash to get to the finish of this one and try to win 3,500?
Honestly, I think we're just going to have to send it. Maybe we can make the high side work, get some crossovers in, but overall, I think it's going to be a fun time.
Go get him the rest of the way.
Thank you.
And right now in 13th, but as we mentioned, Evan, competition caution coming up the road. Do not count out the 55.
I think the send it special is going to be the theme of the night, too. We had a couple of drivers saying, with no points on the line, that they're just going to have to go full send at a couple of points tonight. At least the third different driver we've heard that from. But again, it's not that time yet, although we are past halfway in this 2021 eNASCAR iRacing All-Star Race. A unique race for the 2021 iteration of this event, Tim, using the 2022 NASCAR Next Gen cars. I know we've seen quite a few different events for this All-Star over the years. Is Crowder going to go to the inside of Cattell, who after using up those tires in the early run of this race, struggling a little bit here on the back half. But last year we did the NASCAR Camping World Trucks at North Wilkesboro. The year before that, it was the Cup Cars, kind of a doubleheader of All-Star special events live on NBCSN at Iowa. And then Rockingham, the All-Star, always one of the funnest events of the year because it's always something different.
Absolutely, and it's great to see these drivers, A, having fun, and B, putting on a show as well for us to watch on a Tuesday evening, as they always do. Novak going backwards, though, on the outside. We saw Nick Ottinger in the last shot go on the outside of Brandon Cattell and try to make the work on the outside, but Zach is not finding a spot into line here. It's like when we talked to Casey a little bit earlier, trying to get that spot down and get clear enough to get back to that inside, but it's not going to happen here with the Coke Zero number 3.
It not happening this time. It seems like every time we see Corey, he's pretty firm on the inside. I wonder if he just prefers to ride on the bottom of the racetrack right now. Of course, Vincent is the driver who's been on the move here. Alfalla was 5th for the longest time, but if Vincent could just clear him, maybe put that to bed, and then behind them, single-filed and spaced out just a little bit. So that next competition caution, we know there's 2. You had about 6 or 7 drivers come down pit road on the first one, all of them taking just 2 tires. So everybody in agreement that you want tires for that second and final comp yellow. Some going to have 2, most going to have 4, Tim. That caution flag is going to come once your race leaders hit lap number 45. That's why it'll set us up for about an 11 or 10 lap dash to the end of this race.
And then the crazy and the wild begins, because we talked about it earlier where there's no yellow flags to slow the field down, but Speaking about a driver that won't be around for that one, Chris, what happened during that little incident there?
I think I basically was just trying to make moves and didn't have the space to do it. Seemed like we were a little bit faster than the cars right in front of me, but they were 2-3 wide and couldn't find a way around them. So I wanted to get from the top to the bottom, and unfortunately Colin had his nose in there, and I came across his nose and sent myself into the wall.
We talked about these different combinations that we've run in this all-star race. How fun is this combination that we've been running here from a driver standpoint?
I might be the worst person to ask about that. To be honest, I'm not real thrilled with this combination. Format's not bad, but I'm not a fan of the way the car drives. But that's just me. I mean, I think some other guys are probably. I mean, everybody's having fun. We're just, we're out there. It's not a points race or anything. But I'm not a big fan of it. I don't like real tight cars, which is the way this thing's driving. So I'm not having fun with it, to be honest.
Well, we get back to fun next week racing for points and towards the playoffs at Watkins Glen. What are you looking forward to towards that playoff push?
I'm going to have to get faster on road courses. That's been my Achilles heel this year, which really legitimately probably still should be getting decent finishes. But I gotta get some more laps in and find some speed at Watkins Glen. And I just need good finishes and hope nobody else wins that's ahead of me, or be able to go out and win a race. I think hopefully we can get a good finish at Watkins Glen, then we got to go out there and see if we can try to win Michigan. I think that's going to probably be our only shot. It's definitely getting down to crunch time, and I'm falling down towards the cut line now. So
we'll watch you next week at Watkins Glen. Tough luck tonight. Wish all the best the rest of the way to the playoffs.
All right, thank you guys.
We've got a battle on our hands up here, Evan, and we just saw Mitchell DeYoung, I believe that was, go a lap down. It's Jimmy Mullis to the outside, Graham Boland to the inside. These guys are fighting hard.
I feel like I've seen Mitchell tonight without a hood more than he has had a hood on, but it does give a unique perspective of what one of these next-gen cars looks like under the hood. But you're right, things are ramping up towards the front of the field. 3 wide, back here in a battle for 4th spot. That's the Nadia Novak up top, Alfala in the middle, and Corey Vincent down on the inside. You can tell that they all want the track position coming to the competition caution. They are all over each other for the lead. 3 wide to lap traffic at the stripe on the inside. Casey Kerwin wins lap 44, and he will be the leader as the yellow flag flies.
They wanted to provide a little bit of excitement coming down to the end of that, and they did just that, and they kept off each other as well, Evan. All those drivers come out with clean cars. Now the question is, what do we do on pit road? I'm interested to see. I would assume that the 2311, those other guys that came down onto pit road that took 2 are going to come down and take the other 2. But we'll see what shakes out here. That was a very exciting run to the checkered, though.
Yeah, they saved it, and they made the dash to the end of this one. Casey Kerwin made the pass that gives him the lead just seconds before the yellow flag came out, Tim.
Casey, how important was that to get that lead at the line?
I think it was huge because we're all going to come get tires down. I'm the first one down pit road. So I don't know how many of those guys crept around there real slow to try and stay out for track position. But hopefully if we can have a good stop here, we can come out first on freshies. So we'll see. It was pretty big. Hopefully it works out here.
We'll bring it down pit road, get some fresh tires in that thing, and try to get 3,500 at the end of this.
Thank you.
Casey Kerwin leads the field down on the pit road, and Evan, no pun intended, this is the money stop.
It's the money stop, Tim, and I don't think there's any way that those drivers who took 2 tires earlier end up in the green after this. Keegan Leahy, 9th, was the highest running driver of those who took 2. They were obviously hoping that they could get 2 on the first yellow, get track position, and then on the downside here, have the opposite. So we'll see. He'll go for his 2. He'll go to the front of the field here, but I just think it's going to be hard-pressed as we watch the drag race off of pit lane. Keegan Leahy does indeed win the race off pit road. Alongside him is Matt Busa. That's a 2-tire call. Brandon Cattell's a 2-tire call. Tim, no shocks there. And Casey Kerwin leads the race off of pit road of those who took 4. it's going to be hard pressed for those guys on 2 to try to play defense, but they're going to give it their best. And I think the fact that it's a very short dash to the end of the race means that it's not impossible. Also, it was not unanimous on pit road. Look at the top of your screen. Bob Bryant did not come down pit road. He pitted 25 laps ago and took tires. So he neglects to pit. He's your leader, Tim. Let's find out the story.
Oh, Bob, let's talk about this strategy. What transpired to put you in the lead right here?
Well, we all were saving really hard the first run. When I pitted, I just happened to notice that all my tires were 100%. So, you know, with so many people doing the same thing we were doing the first run, I thought it was probably unlikely that we'd be able to pick our way through the field and get to the front. And this was probably the best bet. So we actually took our tires under the first yellow and saved really hard right there. And I don't know, we're either going to look really stupid or really smart. We'll see.
Now, we talked about it a couple of weeks ago at Road America, but the Gnome now has, is that a Valvoline shirt on?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we had to dress him up a little bit for you, Tim. He was getting so much attention. He needed to have some publicity for the important stuff, right?
So why is he hiding his eyes with is that a Coke hat?
Yeah, it doesn't quite fit. We're going to have to get a gnome-sized Coke hat for him.
Is he hiding his eyes because he knows what's going to come up here in the next 10 laps?
I hope not. Like, I would hope that he wouldn't do that. I don't think so. I don't think we're gonna wad it up. We're gonna need some more optimism out of you, Tim.
Well, no, you're gonna make some moves that are gonna scare him, right?
Oh, okay.
Guys are gonna try to pass the 77 guy, right?
Yeah, that's sounds good. We'll go with that.
Yeah, absolutely. We wish you all the best. We'll talk to you after the race at $3,500, right?
Sweet. Sounds good.
There you go. There's Bob Bryant. And I believe we have Brandon Cattell up here as well. Brandon, third place. Disney World trip is coming. We need some money. Can we pull it off?
2 tires.
One to green, buddy.
Man. This is going to be crazy, guys. Remember, no cautions here at the end. So, a lot of money on the line. I'm pretty nervous right now. I'm not going to lie. So, hopefully we can make some money. Or, you know what? If we don't, I had fun. So this is gonna be a brawl for sure.
So Bob says he has a winning strategy with staying out after pitting earlier. So the 2 tires is the winning call here, right?
I hope so. I tried it. I tested it. I really hope so. The left side wear wasn't that bad. So hopefully we can get the job done.
Before I let you guys get back to work, Brian Blackford, any words of wisdom for your driver before we go?
Oh, man. All or nothing. Put it all in line, buddy.
That's what we like to hear. Boys, go get it. That's Brandon Cattell, Brian Blackford, and Evan. We're getting ready to get dialed in for 10 laps of excitement. Bob Bryant, Matt Busa, Brandon Cattell, your top 3. Who's going to win this thing?
Something, lick the stamp. We'll see how this one goes. Pace car down and in for the final time tonight. Bob Bryant takes the green flag. 11 laps to go in the eNASCAR iRacing All-Star Race.
Who plugs the hole down into corner number 1? They're 2 and 3 wide behind Bob Bryant. Bob is trying to run and hide. And, oh, boy, Busa around Casey Kerwin into the wall.
Oh, it's only 2 of them. No, they're wrecking again. Crowder spinning on the back straightaway. He takes Ray Alfalo with him. Clampett's in the grass. Solis is spinning. It's a mess on the back straightaway, and it takes half the cars out of it. Could that help? The driver's on the 2 tires towards the front of the field. Bryant continues to lead, and Cattell up to second. He's trying to hold off Jimmy Mullis. Mullis, the lead car, Tim, with 4 fresh tires.
Do you remember how strong Jimmy Mullis was at Loudon? We've seen some big moves tonight out of that 46. I think that might be the winning call, but they've got to get past this guy that we're riding on board with. Bob Bryant looking back at the rest of the field and trying to pull away and hear the sound of the cash registers.
That time by 9 laps to go. Could the battle for second help him out? Cattell tries to shut the door on the 46. It's Mullis to the outside. Right-hand side, you're looking off of the bumper of your race leader. Left-hand side, you're in the car with Bob Bryant. Cattell really does not want to give Mullis that inside line.
be hiding my eyes too if I was the gnome looking back out and seeing this in behind him. These guys are bobbing and weaving, not only trying to catch Bob, but trying to make it. Oh boy, there goes the 80 car up the racetrack, almost into the 46. We didn't wad him up, but we came some close.
Oh, and he comes up again, and Vincent just about sent the 80 car into the outside wall. Cattell's on the tire disadvantage, but he is not lacking some bravery. He is making that 80 Chevrolet as wide as he can, but how long will it last him? It's clear he's better on the bottom. Oh, but he gets real tight that time. Drives Mullis to the fence. It's Vincent to the inside. 3 wide for second.
Excuse me, pardon me, coming through. Corey Vincent going to pick up the spot, and you can see the damage on the side of that 80 car. He's been doing work, and Jimmy Mullis says, why not? Let's go back to the inside. 3 wide down the back for third.
Michael Guest wants to join the party, but there's nowhere for him to go right now with Mullis on the bottom, Bolin in the middle, and Cattell up top. The 46 pushes, and Cattell's into the outside wall. He gets hip checked. He takes out Leahy. Novak involved. 3 more cars as Leahy flips. But the battle for the race lead rages on. 6 laps to go from Nashville. Here comes Vincent with a full head of steam down the back straightaway. Can that 77 of Bob Bryant do anything to hold off the Coke Zero Chevy?
How wide are these next-gen cars? Because I feel like it's about to be doubled if you're Bob Bryant to try to keep Corey Vincent behind you. Vincent goes to the inside, side by side for the lead.
And he's got the inside position in here. That should be the biggest thing in the 3 cars' favor. Bryant held on for so long, but Corey Vincent to the race lead at lap number 56. Now Mullis wants to get there too, but he needs to dispose of the 77 quickly. He clears him in turn number 3. Here comes Michael Guest. He'll also look to pass Bob Bryant. The stage is set for Mullis. 3 car lengths, 4 laps to go.
Remember what Michael Guest was able to do in the open, conserve his tires, come out of absolutely nowhere and transfer into this race. He sits in third. Does he have enough left to get up to those top 2? He's cleared Bob Bryant. Jimmy Mullis closing in on Corey Vincent. This is going to be a battle down to the end, not only for the lead, but in behind them trying to get that podium finish.
You've seen this race get messy. Bolin also now clear of Bryant for 4th. He could be a contender if your top 2 mix it up late. 3 laps to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All the drivers who took the 4 fresh tires, they have risen to the top. Mullis with some left side damage though. Curious if that will hurt him as he looks to the inside. Doesn't commit yet. There'll be 2 laps to go at the Nashville Superspeedway this time.
Jimmy's got no help from behind to set this pass up, but Jimmy has been making moves all night long. If somebody's going to make the move for the lead and make the move for the win, it's going to be Jimmy Mullis. And I know him and Corey Vincent, there's a lot of mutual respect between them, but with a $2,500 difference in between first and second, that all that respect and all that everything else may just be thrown out the window here.
He tries again, drives it in to turn number 3. Vincent's going to give him the inside spot. There'll be nose to nose off of turn 4, looking for the white flag. Mullis low, Vincent high. Last lap and they touch. Vincent gets into him. He bobbles and gets into the fence.
And here comes Michael Guest, the big green egg, trying to crack a win here, and they're bringing Graham Bolin along with him down the back straightaway for the final time. Jimmy Mullis has the advantage. Does anybody have anything left for the 46?
He's got to play defense. Vincent going to drive it all the way in. He'll try to give a bump to Mullis, but he takes it. Leads off at turn 4, and Jimmy Mullis, an all-star champion in 2021. What a drive by the 46. Set it up late, Tim. Made his move. They did get together, and there was more contact in a battle for third position, I should say, off the final turn. But to his credit, Vincent was there, gave him a shot, and he shook it off. And Jimmy Mullis wins $3,500 in the 2021 eNASCAR iRacing All-Star Race. This winning moment is brought to you by Coca-Cola, the official fan refreshment of eNASCAR. Tim, dialed up with the 46.
Jimmy Mullis, a winner in this All-Star race. And Jimmy, let's talk about all the moves that you had to make all night long, trying to set it up at the end. How big is this?
It's huge, man. I really hope I didn't wreck Corey. You know, we were just racing really hard there at the end, and man, that was a lot of fun. I didn't think I'd even have a shot at it with the way everything was playing out, but this is huge, man. You know, it's crazy the momentum we've had these last two races, and you know, just hope to keep it going. Like I said, I really hope that Corey ain't too mad. I obviously wasn't trying to wreck him or anything, but you know, a lot of fun. We're just having fun, and you know, fortunately we came out 1-2 still.
You've got some great momentum, as you mentioned, moving forward. You win at Loudon. You win this here. How big is this for the rest of the season? Obviously, tonight is huge, but let's talk about the rest of the year. How big is this pushing forward to try to get that ultimate goal and win this championship?
I mean, it's huge. You know, any momentum you can have and success you can have just builds confidence. And, you know, I'm more confident than ever in our team right now. And I feel like we're firing on all cylinders. And, you know, just, I mean, this race in particular doesn't really do anything for us in the season other than, you know, like I said, just add confidence and just more fuel to the fire to, you know, go out and compete. I feel, you know, pretty good about Watkins Glen coming up, and hopefully, you know, we can lock ourselves into the playoffs here in these next two races and, like you said, go chase a championship.
$3,500 check. What do you spend it on?
I'm going to save it, I think. You know, don't really have any plans as far as what I'm going to use it on just yet, so probably throw it into the savings account, maybe invest. Not sure yet, but, you know, proud to take it home.
Wise decision, my friend. Congratulations.
Thank you, guys.
Jimmy Mullis is your winner, and we'll see if we can't catch up with Corey Vincent. And Corey, I know it's not the win that you wanted, but second place in the All-Star race, battling with Jimmy Mullis. Talk about it coming down to the line.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take it. Honestly, I've never driven this car or track, so I'm a little surprised that we got second. But yeah, at the end, I mean, I thought we had it, honestly. But Jimmy, he sent it into 3 on the like coming to the white, and I don't know how he sent it in there that deep, but he made it work, and he he got to my my left rear and just stalled me out, and then going down the front stretch, he was trying to side draft me, I was trying to side draft him, and we came together and they able to keep the car straight though, so happy about that. But it's tough. I mean, it was just for fun though, but definitely lost out on some money there.
You still got a little bit of money in your back pocket, though, from this race. Moving forward, momentum-wise, how big is this to try to get yourself into the playoffs and try to get that little extra push in these next couple weeks?
Yeah, I mean, we need it. We're in a spot as far as the real season goes. Is we need to win. We got 2 more shots at it, and we just need to put ourselves in position like we did tonight, and just give ourselves a chance to go for the win at the end. That's all we can really ask for. But yeah, I'm happy with the run. Happy to have Team Dillon Esports up here and Coca-Cola, Coke Zero. Happy to have them get them a good run in the All-Star race, and hopefully we can carry this on to the real season and fight for a win.
Great run tonight. Congratulations. See you at the Glen.
Thank you.
That's Corey Vincent finishing in position number 2 this evening. And Evan, what a drive. And you talk about the respect level in between those 2 drivers with Jimmy Mullis and Corey. And you could tell in between there that Corey was a little bit dejected, but compared to other drivers that might have been in the same shoes, I think he was happy with second. I think if that's any consolation.
It's funny, you could have a bad night and think, man, I would have loved to have been the runner-up, right? But then you could be in a position to win it and think, man, I hate second, right? Still walks away with a $1,000 prize. $500 goes to Michael Guest, who beats out Graham Bolin in a thrilling run to the checkered flag off of turn 4. So that is the prize money across your top 3, Tim. But they touched going into 1. I don't think it was anybody's fault. And to Corey's credit, he did give Jimmy a shot, but he hit him square. Didn't go for the quarter panel, didn't dump him, gave him a shot. Jimmy was able to handle it, and that's about as physical of a clean finish, I think, as you can see. And I think that these drivers just coming out having some fun is the biggest thing. Let's take a look, though, at your Coca-Cola move of the race. And there is no doubt that late in this All-Star, It was that pass on the 3. Here's the perspective of the 46.
And sets it up at a 2, as you mentioned. Trying to get down here into turn number 3. Vincent gives him the line, goes to the inside, door kind of shuts a little bit, but Jimmy's got the foot in, and that's all you need if you're the 46.
It's alongside, and then right here with 1 lap to go, there's going to be contact into one right there. They touch just a little bit. Vincent gets into the fence, but it doesn't take him out of this race. He comes down across the nose against him, and off of turn 2, has just as good of a chance to win this race. You'll watch as he goes to put a bumper to him in 3, as back there for 3rd and 4th, they were fighting as well.
He had an opportunity to get a run at a 2, and right here just gets right close to that 46, just able to get the air off him, but didn't able to get that move done. And there's the 46 coming across the line, but that was fun. Next gen car, Nashville Superspeedway, but we get to go back points racing next week.
That's right. We continue on with the road to $300,000, and it is at a road course. We talked about the premium of points and all the different storylines with your race winner tonight, Jimmy Mullis, having won the last points race in the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series. Tim needs to maintain his position of a top 20 in the championship standings. He's pretty good. There's guys like Shearburn, who you heard from, though, that are on the bubble. Ray Alfalo with a win that is outside of the top 20. This race at Watkins could certainly determine a lot of that, and it's the longest running, basically, road course on the calendar, so we've seen a lot of races there over the years.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing this and how it all pans out. We've seen some road courses already this season. We've seen some wild finishes. We've seen some wild opening laps. You look back to Coda. Watkins Glen is going to be fun next week when we get back on the racetrack and get back to points racing to see if anybody can, get that second win, or maybe Mitchell can come back and get another win and pad his performance going into the playoffs. This is going to be fun this week to try to figure out who's going to get those extra points and who's going to get that extra win.
Road courses are that much more critical this year than they've ever been. We've talked about that extensively over the season. Watkins Glen going to be a fun one as we get that much closer to going playoff racing here in 2021. But until next time, that is it for us here tonight from the virtual Nashville Superspeedway. The All-Star Race was a fun one. We handed out some cash, but it gets real when we return next time out. So wanted to say on behalf of our entire team at NASCAR and iRacing to thank all of you for tuning in, for our broadcast team downstairs, and for the broadcast team in the booth tonight. For Tim Terry, myself, Evan Pasoko, Justin Prince on pit road, and all the other drivers who were kind enough to let us drag them in tonight. I want to thank you for tuning in, and congratulations to Jimmy Mullis, who is the 2021 eNASCAR iRacing All-Star Champion. But we get back to business in 1 week time as we head road course racing from the virtual Watkins Glen International. That race is Tuesday, August the 3rd. That race and every race of the 2021 eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series can be found exclusively here on the iRacing Esports Network. Until next time, good night for the Music City, where Jimmy Mullis is your All-Star Champion in 2021.